Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone on this wonderful, wonderful Friday? We're not doing quite as long as an intro screen as usual. Wait, why is chat not here? Oh my god. This is great. Hello. Hello. Itikis, Igiana, Gabs. Hello, hello. I'm very excited. Where's chat? Chat, you're gone. There you are. Hello, hello. It's Friday. It's Sunday. Oh my god. Welcome to this wonderful Sunday. Sorry, I am all, you know me and days. Either way, it is a very, very exciting stream. Today we're gonna be talking to Stefano from the writing team from Ordem Paranormal. And yes. Hello. Gianna, if you want to do the little write-up thing, that would be amazing. Of no spoilers, right? People could write in Portuguese, and also if they want to share the thing, blah, 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 blah. But yes, Stefano is on call right now, so honestly, I think we're just gonna jump right into it. I'm also a little bit tired today because of a long stream that I watched yesterday. Funny enough, same thing. So yeah, I don't think we will pause for ads today. We'll see how it goes. Also, as I said before, with all of these Ordem streams, I will be reading chat, obviously. And if you have questions about anything we're saying, comments, absolutely write it in English, in Portuguese, it's fine. And I will kind of pull them out and mention it when it fits the conversation. Just so like there's a little bit of a flow in what's happening. Also, I asked Stefano beforehand what his favorite track or favorite soundtrack was from Ordem Paranormal, and he said it was a Grena Floresta, so that's what we're listening to. As always, let me know if there's anything weird with the sound once we go into it. But yeah, I will go get Stefano, and I hope that everything still works when I switch scenes. Hello. There we go.
Hi.
Yes. Amazing. Okay.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. It's exciting to have you here.
Thank you.
Gonna chat is the balance of sound okay?
Yeah. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, because that's always a little harder for me to judge.
Yeah.
It is perfect. Awesome. Everything is good.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, Pogly is on this layout, I think. There you go. Pogly's there. All right. Yeah, my mods recently got permission to put on fun things on the screen, and I've told them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, sometimes they jump scare me with door knocking sounds, but I told them today, none of that.
Okay.
Well, yes, welcome. I was just telling people that you chose the soundtrack from
I love the season's soundtrack. I think it's probably the best one of all the seasons.
I absolutely love it as well. It used to be my go-to one for the for the Exatombe like theory streams I've been doing. I've been using Nina Tal Macabro because that felt the closer. But before that, this was my go-to for sure.
I think it's so mysterious, right?
Yes.
It has some different quality.
Yeah, it has a bit more of the detective vibes than the horror.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I kind of pitched this idea to you as like talking about you as a creative, as well as like what it's like writing for Ordem and stuff. So I thought it would be kind of cool to talk a little bit about how you entered this world with RPGs and writing. Like how did you first get connected, or what was your first experience with that?
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. That's my first full English interview I ever given. My English is not amazing, but so I'll ask chat to please forgive me if I make some big mistakes. But talking about my experience with RPG, I kind of started playing when I was like 11 or 12. I thought it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I've been always fascinated by storytelling. I used to write books and comic books when I was a children, and when the RPG was presented to me, we were playing on Pokemon RPG, and my friend was DMing, and I was on. We played as Pokemon. I was like a Psyduck or something, and it was like a journey where we were Pokemon in a Pokemon world, right? It was really fun.
That's awesome.
But it was crazy. It was crazy because like we played for like an hour, and I was immediately thinking, I don't want to be playing. I want to be him. I want to be DMing, right? I like the storytelling aspect, like the improvised storytelling that really shook me. I think I must kept that in some part of my brain for the longest time because I've been always fascinated by improvised storytelling. I like those old, I don't even know how to say it in English, but solo RPG books.
Yes.
It used to be more common. I love that, and
it's like a
I like
your own
the
adventure.
ability. Yes. And I like the ability to create a great story that has beginning, middle, and end. Great characters, but also has this element of unpredictability. Because when you start to study storytelling and writing and movies, as I did, you start to see the patterns. Like it becomes a little more predictable. Some stories can surprise you still, but you start to understand how the structure of the story works, and that can become a little less exciting. That was my feeling, at least. I love storytelling. I love writing. I studied. I actually studied journalism in school, but I did documentaries. But I studied cinema and comic books, and over the years I studied a lot of kinds of storytelling, and I've never really given much thought to RPG as a way of storytelling, surprisingly, considering what I do now. But when I was like 5 or 6 years, maybe a little more, I found a group here in my city that used to play, and I started playing again. And I think that awakened me a curiosity to see if people are streaming or if there are recorded campaigns. And I discovered some mostly American streams that with really good production value and great actors, and really real actors, not just people from your life playing RPG. And that fascinated me, and I started watching a lot of that. It became to a point that I was watching like 5 or 6 different campaigns at once. I used to watch at work all the time. I shouldn't be confessing to this, but
that was me with Ordem.
I was, yeah, I was an editor. I work as an editor.
Same.
And a lot of time when you work as an editor is waiting for the file to render or something that you don't have to do nothing at that moment. So I used to watch entire campaigns of RPG at work, and I started at the same time I became interested in Cellbit's content. I discovered him actually very late in his career, when he was already doing those puzzles videos. I thought he was absolutely original and different, and the way he told the stories through the games he was playing, or the way he edit the video. I thought it was fascinating. He was doing content like I never seen before. I'm sure there were a lot of people doing that kind of content, but I've never seen someone do like live puzzles. And I started watching his streams, and I think I was fascinated by how his mind worked, right? And I could see he was a great storyteller because of the way he was telling the stories of those games, and the way he was playing. So in 2020, when it's actually my brother told me that Cellbit was planning on doing an RPG, I was, that would be interesting. Like I like watching him, and I like watching RPG campaigns. It should be an interesting combination. I started watching the first season, and I didn't know any of the players, and I wasn't really hooked. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was well produced, but the story was a little over there. I wasn't really captured. But I thought it was okay. I took a long time to finish the first season, even though it's just 2 episodes.
Same.
It's months and months. Yeah. And then I've heard he had announced another campaign, Segunda Floresta. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a second watch. I was already watching a lot of Cellbit's content. I was, by that time it was 2020, so I was in lockdown. The company I used to work had closed because it was hard times, right? So I had nothing to do. So I was watching Cellbit's constantly, and I loved him. I really became one of his most loyal viewers. And then I obviously started watching Segunda Floresta, but not really religiously. I used to watch it like 2 days later. Maybe some weeks I would miss it and catch up later on YouTube. And I was liking it. I liked the Calango's character, Cesar. I liked a lot of things. I really loved the music, like I said. But it wasn't until the 3rd episode when the character of Chris died, and I was really shook by how unpredictable that was. I think that struck a chord with me because of that element of surprise that I was looking for in a narrative series, right? And I really haven't gotten that from the other campaigns that I was watching, and the foreign ones. Like, it wasn't that common for a main character to die like that. When they did that, it was in the season finale. It was very special. You could see the actor had to leave, right? And they did something to wrap up his story. It wasn't strictly dice based. And for Chris, I could see it wasn't anyone's plans. It wasn't El Joga's plan. It wasn't Cellbit's plan. It was really an accident. And I thought, that's interesting. I wonder how that will disrupt the rest of the season. Maybe he wrote a whole arc for Chris, and maybe he didn't want them to be mopey in the 3rd episode of the season. Maybe he wanted to go somewhere else to continue his story. And that was not what happened. The 4th episode was fully about Chris' death. And that was amazing. Like, he took the story and continued, right? He didn't let his own story, the campaign he was planning involving the monsters and the backstory of the city, he didn't let that get in the way of the story of the main characters. And I was, this guy isn't just a regular streamer. This guy's a real storyteller. He took the opportunity to tell a good story, and he ran with it. And it's an amazing episode. Like, all the players are really shook, are actually shook, especially Kalango, because it was his father that died. I've never cried watching an RPG. I rarely cry watching movies or series and stuff. I rarely cry, period, which is maybe not good for me. But but that really shook me. That scene where Cesar talks about his father at the funeral, I was really shook because you could see the real emotion on the players. It's something that you don't get in a scripted series, right? You can see the actors emulating, but it's not the real emotion, right? They know the character will die. They read the script. But in an RPG, they don't know what's going to happen. So it's a mixture of surprise and actual sadness. And of course, they're playing characters. They know their friend is not gone, but they captured something in me. And Segunda Floresta became like obligatory viewing. I became obsessed with Segunda Floresta. At first, my main goal in life was to have one of my arts appear in the I don't how do you say,
like, oh yeah, the intervals, like the break,
intervalo,
I
don't know, intervalo. I started around this time because like I was unemployed and not feeling very well as everyone was at the time. I started to practice art more. I like to draw, but I'm not that good at it. So I started to train. I made myself a mission of do an fan art a week. Every week I would do a different fan art, and that was really good. I think I've learned a lot through repetition. And that's something I tell people when they ask me advice on writing. I say, the more you write, the more you know how to write it. So there's no secret formula. You have to do it enough so you know what you want to do and you know how to do it. You become more versatile. And I started to do that with the fan arts. And I think it was a mental process that helped me understand how to get better at something, right? Then basically at that time I was completely hooked on Order. I was completely hooked on Cellbit's content. I was obsessed with Order, but for people that don't know, I'm 37. I'm not at the age that most people in the fandom are. I was already 30 and something at the time. So I didn't know anyone that watched Order at all. I couldn't talk about the series with anyone because I wasn't that present online. I didn't even have Twitter. I was never an online person, which is very ironic now. But I was never an online person. I did some content online on YouTube before. I liked the platform. I watch YouTube a lot. Maybe too much, but I started to miss the communal feeling because it's a series that no one knows, right? Especially at that time, the series was very smaller than it is now. It's still a niche audience, but now it's much bigger. At that time, we have like 30,000, 40,000 per episode. Now it's 200. So
now it's breaking records.
It's breaking records. It probably was breaking Brazilian records at that time. Now we were breaking global records.
Yeah.
But I felt I loved the series, but I felt very alone. And that started to awaken something in me that I think I started watching some other Order creators, like they would talk about Order. And I was like, but no one's doing like something more organized, like a podcast or something. And I started being an editor on the wiki, but it was like something I did because I wanted to. I wrote most of the resumos,
the summaries.
Summaries, yeah. I wrote most of the summaries for. Thank you. I wrote most of the summaries for Segunda Floresta episodes. I kind of create the structure that we use now for episode pages. Like that structure, it was something that I don't like. That I started to messing with, and it became like the pattern. We're using this right now. It's still like it was back then. That was good. I felt like I was contributing to the community in some way, but I still miss the talking with someone, theorizing, analyzing. I love analyzing the series and seeing what worked, what didn't, seeing what the players did that I liked, what they did that I didn't feel like it made much sense. So I was wrestling with that, and then it's there was the ARG for Desconjuração, and when they announced the Enigma do Medo campaign, so I saw that the wiki had a Discord channel. So I was like, I'll go there. I never did that before. I don't usually. I used to not usually interact with strangers online. It wasn't something I did usually. I think it's maybe something from my generation where we were never really. It wasn't part of my life when I was growing up. Internet was something that was still in those early ages. So I wasn't really comfortable getting in a call with a stranger. I never did that. I never really did social apps or something. It didn't interest me. But I was really interested in talking with people about Ordem Paranormal. So I started to talking a little bit with the people on the server, and like a day before the first episode of Desconjuração, I was in bed. I sleep really late. Everyone that knows me knows that. It was like 6 o'clock. I was so nervous. I was so anxious for the beginning of the season because the expectation was so high at that point. Like
with the ARG and everything.
Yeah, because the game, and I could see Cellbit's ambition to make this project huge. I didn't know what to expect from Desconjuração. I thought anything could happen, right? And it did, right? Everything happened after that. But I was really anxious. I think I can only remember two times in my life I was that anxious about something on media. It was the night before the episode 7 of Star Wars premiered, and that was the 2 times where I was like I couldn't sleep because I was so anxious about something that I wanted to. I used to dream about Order, like I used to dream that I was an Order. Yeah.
During Desconjuração, Kian was had all of my thoughts. It was crazy.
And at that night, I thought, I don't know where this thought came from. I thought I could do a podcast. I like I said, I studied journalism. I had a radio program at university. I used to be the host, so I can kind of do that. I don't really like to appear in front of the camera and this stuff. I'm really not shy particularly, but it's not where I am most comfortable. Is in front of the camera. I do it because I have to. I think I've learned through repetition.
Yeah.
But I thought if I don't do it, no one else will, right? I can't really hire people to do a podcast for me. I have to do it. And I'm the editor. I can edit the episode. So if it's too bad, I can like fix it in post. But I started to looking for people on the server to be on the podcast, and I found a girl, Lavi, which was fascinated by RPG, loved building characters. She loved writing characters, writing backstories, complex backstories for her RPG characters. We really became friends, and I asked her, "Do you want to do this?" Yeah, and she was like, I think she was a little scared. Who is this guy? What does he want? And she said yes. I've had a brief meeting with her. She was going somewhere on the streets on her cell phone, and I could see she was really shy and was a little. I didn't really know if she wanted to do it. I said, let's try it, and she said okay, which I'm very grateful for that. And even right now, because I don't think I would be here right now if it wasn't for her being with me at the beginning. I wouldn't do the podcast alone. I was really insecure about doing a whole podcast by myself. I think I like the idea of talking to someone. That made things easier.
Yes.
And I think one of the first things I thought was maybe we should have guests, and that will help us promote the podcast. That was my idea.
Yeah.
So I used to watch a lot of creators that did content on Order, artists, musicians, and I invited one of them to be the guest on the first episode. And when she said yes, I was a little starstruck because I used to watch her streams. Yeah. And I was, what? She would do it? Like, she doesn't know who I am. She doesn't know about this project. It doesn't even exist until now. But she said yes. We recorded. I think it went fine. It wasn't good, but it wasn't. I don't like to watch these episodes now. I think I'm too immature. And but it's okay. It worked, right?
Yeah.
And she when she RT the post, because my biggest fear, I had done stuff for YouTube before, and my biggest fear was like I did a video back in the day that I worked for it. I spent a week editing and posting, and then 10 people saw it, and I was like, oh god, that's frustrating, right? You can like the content, but you kind of want people to watch it, right?
Yeah.
And with the Ordencast, it started to grow. It started obviously with 10, 15, 20 people, and I was like, okay. Then it started to grow and became 30, 50. Then I remember one day, it was still in the first year, we had 100 views in the first week. And I was like, oh god, 100 people listened to my podcast. It's very niche. It's not for, like, you had to like Order, and you had to click and listen to me and live talk for an hour and a half. And that's a commitment, right? Yeah. And 100 people did that. I was like, wow, that's so cool. And for the first time of my life, I was really motivated to do this kind of stuff, right? I felt it was the first artistic project of my life that really worked. And oh my god, I was so pumped. You can't even imagine. It felt so good, right? We must know how it is. Talking to people that watch it, they had their own thoughts on your opinions and stuff. I love
absolutely
read comments and stuff, and a community started to form around the podcast, and that was amazing, right? That was probably my favorite thing about doing content directly to people. Like, I do the content and I post it, and it said, is people giving you feedback and forming around you to people with similar interests. Because I felt like what I felt when I was watching Segredo na Floresta, there was like, I am the only one here that knows this, and there's really no one else to talk to. much more people felt that way around the country, or maybe around the world, and they were using Ordencast as a way to connect with other people that liked the show, and connect to other people they also like the show. So Ordencast was like a bridge between two people that like the show to talk about something in common, right? And it was a common place of that. That kind of was the beginning of Ordencast. I realize I've been talking straight for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No.
Listen, you're on a roll. No, it's great. It's it's funny because I was taking some notes and I was like, I didn't forget what I was thinking as you were telling. Because no, I mean, you can clearly tell that you have had practice with the presenting and the stories, because it is still
I can feel an hour. I can feel an hour.
yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. I very much the same way. I'm a yapster, as we call it.
That's cool.
It's awesome because like from the outside, like we have a bit of an age difference. We're in two completely different places in the world. We discovered Ordem in different ways, and yet a lot of what you were saying, I was like nodding and smiling, because I was like, yeah, no, that is exactly the experience I had. Like you were talking about watching Ordem at work. Like I said, I was also I was in England when I found Ordem, and I was working as an editor with YouTube stuff. So a similar thing of with like you're doing thumbnails, or you're like you're just like polishing stuff up, and it's like you can have something going on in the background, or waiting for things. And I remember that episode 4 of Osagen na Floresta, sitting in my little editing booth, having like a little 10-minute break in between things, and like crying my eyes out, hoping that no one noticed, because I was like, oh my god, why did I do this?
Crying at work, right?
Yes.
I see.
Because of that exact scene, which was the same one that really captured me.
Oh my god.
For me,
that's amazing acting from Calango.
Exactly, and that's like I've always loved stories. I did media production and focused on like script and film.
Oh, really?
But before that, my background was with acting.
Really similar. So,
yeah, exactly.
It's really.
Really. So acting and improv and that kind of stuff, and seeing Calango pull that out and being like, this is, like you were saying, this is not a professional actor. This is a streamer, but somebody who's allowing themselves to fully connect to what is happening, and everyone else around him kind of like giving that back as well. To me, I was like, wow, this is okay.
Including Cellbit as
exactly.
That I could see he was a great DM.
Yeah.
He really allowed players to conduct the story. He paused his own narrative. He wasn't concerned about the mission and the clues and stuff. He was really concerned about how the character were reacting to Chris' death. That really made it special for me. I never seen an RPG session that was so emotional. That was so about the character, not about the plot. Because usually it's all the other way around. I was really impressed.
It also just showed that like this was a group of people who were there for the emotions, and we're like, no, we want to go deep and like give it the respect and the credit that needs, which is not easy to do. So I was just like, these are my people. I want to know more about this. And then the thing you were talking about, like feeling like you were the only one who knew about it, because it was still very new and niche, obviously. I found
I can only imagine how you felt. Like
Tika's in chat.
That must be much harder to find someone that liked it.
Yeah, it was like Tika's one of the people in chat and in my community who's from France was writing as well during that moment, like, oh yeah, that is the gringo experience, because like obviously I found it through QSMP and met Cellbit through that. And I remember the thing that caught my mind was when he was building his like room with rooms with all the different elements, and I heard about the wiki, and then one of the other streamers were just like rattling off the things he had read on the wiki about it, and I was like, wait, this goes deep. There is like world build. Huh? Okay, I need to figure out what this is.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was the only one. I would force my my colleagues during work breaks to listen to me talk about Portuguese, teach them Portuguese words, talk about Brazilian RPGs, and I was like, listen, guys, you just gotta. I need to tell you about this.
They must thought you were crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's cool.
And the community thing, like your Ordem cast for me is with the reacts. I Segredo na Floresta I watched on my own, but I had a friend I found on Twitter who would let me info dump in her DMs as I was watching, and was really interested because I remember from episode 5 specifically, I sent her a message like, I pulled out a notebook. I can't not theorize. I must.
That's cool.
It was not intentional. It pulled me.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And then finding out that like that was a thing in the community, because I've been hyper focused on things before, but I haven't seen it reciprocated and given back, and then realizing, no, this is a thing. Like people want to hear your theories, people want to share their theories.
He's a big
amazing.
part of the
and then you know, I was tweeting about it, and eventually somebody was like, oh, have you ever thought about doing reacts on stream? And now I get to have in a smaller scale than what's happened with Ordem or Ordemcast, but like that feeling of community building, and also
so cool,
helping me learn more about Brazil and participate in the wider community, because I'm now learning more Portuguese and stuff. So I think it's really cool that like, even though there's lots of different people who in individual ways of coming to Ordem, a lot of the things I feel like I hear mirrored both in your story, but also when I've spoken to people, is the whole like, one, usually you were in a bit of a rough spot, and two, the feeling of community and coming together and using it as a way to create other things, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, because the series is so niche, it requires a lot of time to watch it. Even if you're just watching this season, every episode is 4 hours plus. Most people are afraid to commit to something that big, and it's not particularly fast-paced, right? It's an RPG. It's, even though Order is the most probably well-produced RPG in the world, it has so much production value. It has a lot of visual aids and stuff, and it's not that slow compared to other campaigns you see online, but it's still a big commitment. Like every episode is 4 hours plus. Like someone once told me, and I think it's true, you can watch the entire One Piece anime, and you still haven't, you would not have watched the entire Order. And can you imagine? One Piece is on the air for like 25 years.
I know.
And more, I don't know. But like going, and Order is been like, it has been for 5 years, and not really on the air for the past 3 years, right? It has some episodes released, and still every episode is so long that it can surpass a huge series like that.
Yeah.
So I think it requires a very specific type of person to watch the series. It's not for everyone, and it's designed not to be for everyone. I think we're working towards creating other content that can be more approachable for like the comics and the guide, the RPG book, and that kind of stuff. But the main source of material, the series, it's still pretty niche, right?
Yes.
And it still requires a lot of commitment. And I get people that try to watch one episode and say, I don't think this is for me. I still try to say no, stick with it, see if you can relate to the character and stuff. But I get it. It's a huge commitment. So I think it says a lot about us, the community, when we are like-minded. We are people that like this stuff that most people doesn't like. And it's not just because of Cellbit's story and the players and the arts and stuff. I think it's about the media. I think we like the media. I think we like that particular environment of RPG, and I think that's why most people that comes to the series are loners and people that feel like most people around there don't understand why are they so obsessed with the series, and that what made creators like me so happy to hear that we are like a reference for them and something that made them connect to other people that also like the series.
Yeah, and I think what you said about like it's not being made to be for everyone as well is something I have huge respect for.
Yeah,
it's like
I think we are always trying to be more accessible.
Of course,
that's something that we discuss in the writers' room. We're always trying to be as broad as we can, but of course there's limitations, right?
Yeah.
We know most people won't watch it. Most people won't even understand what it is. Don't have the mental ability to. I'm not saying that it's better or worse. I'm just saying it's different. Most people don't feel like it. Don't want to watch it because they find it a little strange, right?
Yeah.
It's a bunch of grown-ups rolling dice and screaming and crying and pretending, and it's theater. But because of this element of fantasy and horror, I think it gets a little underappreciated by most people. But I think it says a lot about us, the people that watch it, because we get it, and I think that's fun.
Yeah, and it's like you could easily see a project like this with a different team start getting broader recognition, international recognition, and then start to try and chase that.
I don't think
it's
it will
so
work.
Clearly this isn't that. It's like you said, like you have a lot of love for story and for what the core of this is, and I think that's also what is special about it and what makes people engage with it so much. And another thing, which is like the way that Ordem has kind of rewarded and embraced the community as well. Like you come from watching it, doing content around it. A lot of the artists, like Spot just came in chat and said hello. And
great
you know,
artists.
exactly. Like it's when I found out, when people were starting to tell me about all these things, because obviously I've been catching up on so much history, and I still am, and it's amazing that that there's like this interest to help us newer people kind of understand everything. But when I started hearing that, I was like, that's amazing. Like that. You know, you're looking out and seeing, oh wow, people are responding to this and are using it to fuel their own creativity. Let's embrace that. Let's bring them back in, and that continues to happen. And especially, you said the whole like, oh, you're a little bit older than the people, other people in the community as well. I think that's awesome too, because a lot of streaming related things, I think people often look at and go, okay, it's for like, you can get involved if you're like 17 to 22 and that's it, you're dying. I'm above that range as well. So it really is just like, if you're here for it, and if you're like, if you understand what it is and you want to be part of it, there are ways you can fit in. I think that's absolutely amazing.
Personally for me, I might be a little like an old cranky man, but I really get energized by the community. I loved our community. I really love. I don't really like when people criticize our community because they gave me everything I have now. Really, I only have a job now because of the community. They gave me the attention I needed and helped me along the way, right? Gave me visibility. I wouldn't be anywhere if it wasn't our amazing community. I talk to our community, as you know, I talk to community every day. I love talking to people. I love talking to other fans. I love when I meet someone that I don't particularly know. I want to know the story, like we did, like yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I love hearing what is the perspective this person's having with this series. Obviously, now that I'm involved, I'm particularly interested because it's like constructive feedback for the series. But I really like what this series gave me was like something that I didn't have a bunch of years ago. That's like a real appreciation for this generation that is growing up in the virtual era, because it's very easy to be skeptic and think, oh, they are a bunch of, I don't know, people that are only at home saying whatever they want on Twitter and really toxic and stuff. And it's not really true. That's not my experience with at least with the people that follow the series. And they are really creative. They are extremely smart. They understand the references. They have their own language. It's I think what scares older people. I have trouble sometimes understanding their inner culture.
Yeah.
But I think I really love talking to them. I really like. I've talked to people, the 13-year-olds that watch the series. I've talked to 30-year-olds. There's no, I never found someone my own age that watches it, except for like the people at the publishing place that work with me. Like they are professionals. They have to watch the series because they work for the series. But not really people that find it. It must have someone, but I've never found it.
I know one.
But
there's another gringo American who's also a streamer called Avitao, who is
I see
39, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope we're not outing her.
No. He that's as far as I remember from 38. Sorry, from on his Twitter is
really?
there. Yeah, it's a small streamer who I also connected with through this. Actually, we did a little we did a campaign, Ordem campaign, streamed Ordem campaign in English together on my channel, which was like we met.
That's cool.
Yeah, through Ordem as well, and become like good friends and stuff. So yeah, there are.
That's cool.
It happens.
That's cool. Yeah, I know. Statistically, it has to be, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the norm. Like I've been working every day in order for like 5 years, and I've never found anyone. So it's not common, right? But my point is, I became really hopeful for this generation. I think they are really smart. I think they are really connected. They know everything that is going on. They're willing to teach you. I often have troubles with, like we did with the stream, right? Yeah. I had trouble with the podcast, with YouTube, with social media and stuff, and they're more than willing to help you. I ask for help from them all the time. They're really good people, right? And I think they are portrayed as other than that, and that's really not my feeling. I don't think this generation is, and especially the other community, I think they are amazing people. There will be bad people and toxic people everywhere. You have a huge community.
Yeah.
There will be people that I don't particularly like, and stuff is normal, but
Yeah.
it's not at all reflective of the community. And I've always felt that since day one doing the podcast. I've
Yeah.
always felt this. Wow, this community is really cool. They
Yeah.
may be a little. I don't know. Sometimes they may be a little testy, but I love that. I love that. It's because they like the show, right?
Yeah,
They're
like
they're doing what real fans do. They get obsessed over
Yeah.
a minor issue or something like a roll Cellbit calculated wrong. They get so upset about that, but it's because they love the show, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that if they didn't like it, right?
I mean, very
I get it.
very apropos, like some of the stuff that's been said in like Exatombe, you know, passion. It goes both ways. It both brings love. It brings heated emotions on either side.
Yeah.
No, I found that so funny when Cellbit started mentioning, oh yeah, we're changing this because of this, and I was like, oh yeah, because he got tired of responding on Twitter. But like that, it's really funny as well, because like I'm very much like I'm a watcher for story and for the characters and for mysteries and for theories. That's what got me about this. So anything that is like the changes from the system, or we've rituals that work different, I'm like I don't catch it as much, because I'm just like no, but that's what fit the story, that's what needed, like it's about the pacing, it's about what's right in the moment, that's my experience with playing RPG has always been that as well.
And it really varies from person to person what they care about in the series. A lot of people, like I know a lot of people get in the series because their favorite creator is in it. A lot of people get in the series because of that, and that's one way to watch the show, because you like your favorite streamer and he's in it, and you want to know what's going to happen to his character and stuff. And hopefully, and it happened to a lot of people I know, hopefully when you started to watch it, oh no, this is a good show, I like the story, I'm going to watch every season because I really like the format, right? And the universe. But I get when you get it from something like that. Some people get it from, I love RPG, I love the mechanics, I love the roll dice, I love the combos and stuff. I'm not really like that. It's very ironic given that I work writing for RPG, but I'm very bad with rules.
Same.
I don't even. Order is like the only RPG that I can really understand. I think I have a real cognitive something about getting rules from something like that. It doesn't stay in my mind longer. The way I learned the system from this RPG is because I've seen a narrative that has the system in it. So it's easier for me to learn something when there's a narrative story, right? And that's why I love documentaries. Because or movies that are about a specific subject, because that's easier for me to understand than reading a non-fiction, and it gets a little hard for me to understand concepts. I'm really a story guy, and for me that's what I always liked about the show. If you watch the podcast, we rarely talked about the system. Rarely. And I was like, between the three of us, me, Na, and Lavi, I was the one that understood most about the system. So, and I don't really understand the system. So we almost always talked about story, about the character development, theorizing, how did that scene resonated with us, how did we feel when the character died, etc. That's interesting, because that's my feeling, especially from the season that I've been very active talking to the community. It's funny to see how different people respond to the series differently. So there are people like you and me They are there because of the story and because they are motivated to see what's going to happen next and are cheering for the characters and stuff. But there are a lot of people that are there because it's an RPG and they want to see what abilities are going to come up, what rituals and stuff. And it's not an easy job to mash these two things, because first, and that's Cellbit's mantra, first the story comes. It's like our main priority is the story, and then but it's an RPG, so it has to make sense. Because if it does, the RPG doesn't make sense, then there are no rules. Then you can say whatever you want, and then nothing will really have any impact, right?
Yeah.
So the system has to work. It has to be balanced. Everything has to be balanced. The battles have to feel like they were designed well, and we have amazing game designers in the show. But it's not our main priority. Our main priority is, what is the story we want to tell? Okay, this is the story. This is what this is the message. This is what we want the characters to do, and etc. So let's try to build something around that for the system of the show.
Yeah,
it's more like that and not the other around it, which surprises a lot of people I talk to. They think, because they are like RPG heads, they like the system. They think we are also like that, and we have people like that in our staff. Mm-hmm. But it's not the main focus. The main focus is the story. It's a narrative.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've been talking about like how I theorize, and I realize that for me, I kind of use theories as if it was like a creative writing thing of like, okay,
that's cool.
What, like starting from what would be the most interesting narrative or story I can think of. Based on what I've seen, and then going in and looking at like, okay, do I have any evidence or anything I can tie that to? And often like I'll start with like, okay, this is the thing that's like the closest to what's been going on, and then I'll add on and like, okay, now this could be a potential backstory for this character, like using it to branch out. It's very definitely story, and then going into, okay, now what's there.
And it feels so good when you got right.
Yes.
I remember getting theories right on Ordencast and feeling so amazing. Like, wow, I don't know how I got this right, but it made sense to me. And then I see it on this film, and you start to understand how Cellbit writes his stories and start to understand his feeling. So you're not really throwing stuff at the wind. You're trying to think with his mind, which became very useful for what I do now, because I have to write for him.
It's almost like an exercise in like psychology as well, where you're trying to like put yourself into somebody else's, like, okay, what type of stories does he like and think of and things. No, so from Discussion, which was the first time I streamed with my theories, I got pretty damn close to everything about Kian. And it has been the high, like one of the few like emotional highlights, to the point where
that was if you listen to the podcast in Disconjuration time, I was so wrong. I was dead wrong. I thought Elizabeth hadn't died and it would appear at the end. I was completely way off. I still think his death doesn't make much sense to me, but I've coped with that over the years. Now
interesting.
I'm working on adapting Disconjuration for the comics.
Yeah.
And that's something that it has come up, and I have to reconcile, because that's the story we're adapting. We can't change that. But, I can't believe you got close to guessing who Kian was, because I was completely blindsided. I was nowhere near getting that.
I got who it was, and also a solid part of what his plan was. Because I went deep in Sumerian lore.
Wow.
I was
I love that.
going into the religion, and that was I think what made Disconjure not just getting it right to the point where like Kaiser dying was really, really sad, but I had the adrenaline.
Tell me about it.
of the Kian thing, so that saved me tears.
Yeah, I get it. It's true emotions. I get it.
Yeah, but
that was probably my lowest point ever watching Order. Is I thought the ending of Disconjure was so depressing, and I was like, really? That's how you end the season? Okay, right. But then when he announced Calamidade, I was completely back. I was okay. I'm excited again. He got me.
Yeah, but like I think because I remember during Segredo Foresta, I was like Googling to try and see, okay, are there any like medieval cults with like similar themes that I can like pay? And I couldn't find that like IRL connection. So when that started happening in Disconjure and Calamidade, I was like, yes, now I can learn more things. And that is like one of my favorite things. And actually,
I love you doing the research for the background stuff on the series. It's like I love history, and that's I write the documents, as you know. That's one of the favorite things. When I was just watching, that was I thought if he only hired me to write the documents, I will be happy. I only want to write the documents because I love writing and I love the structure. I love the storytelling that goes into the documents. Yeah. And I love writing the documents, and like the research is a big part. Like this season, we had to research a lot about how do I say this, Nordestina culture. You get it. Yeah. Because I live in the south of Brazil. It's very far from the northeast. But I did a lot of research. I became really fascinated by their culture and the background and everything that happened there historically. So we got to incorporate urban legends and myths, and something that's very, very in line with Order. So I get that completely. I think one of the best things we do in Order, and Cellbit has always done this, it's open a door for people to discover something new and do their own research and go and like you research Sumerian culture and like everything that can, like one thing that is mentioned in one document is a door for someone to discover a whole new world, right? Yes. And I think that's amazing. I think that's that's something really meaningful that the series can pass to the audience. And I'm really happy to be a little part of that, because that's something that when I was just a regular viewer, that's something that I really valued in Cellbit storytelling.
Yeah, that I think is also what has like kept me as engaged with Ordem. Because there is that extra aspect. Like I've always loved learning. It's probably like some kind of combination of the ADHD and the autism that's just like, let's grab on to random like research holes, whatever. So being able to like do that and I think that is probably one of my favorite parts of it as well. And actually something that I wanted to ask you about is like, sometimes I like an example of this with Exatombe, and you don't have to like say if this was on purpose, but more just like if these type of things do appear in like the research and like the little foreshadowing stuff you put into things, like with the I thought that the circus Sigurdo Diabo would reappear, both because Singi, but also because in the newspaper article that was part of the promotions beforehand, there was mention of a pope, and when I looked up that pope, I saw that he had a connection. He was a cardinal priest of Saint Eusebio, and Eusebio was a name that was linked to episode 0 of Calamidade and the circus. And often I'll go down like path like this, where it's like I'll look up a name and I'll be like, wait, there's to another thing, and I can never quite figure out if it's like happy coincidences or if sometimes some of those things are thought in. Like, does it ever go that deep?
Well, let me try to answer that.
Yes. There's just using this as an example. Yeah.
Obviously, there's both.
Yes.
There's some things are very researched. Like I said, I love history. Yes. I wrote the document you're referring, I wrote most documents. And I did a really deep dive on the Inquisition, because it's a subject that really fascinated me.
Yes.
And that's something that I spent some time researching. It's really fun for me. And but sometimes the fans make connections that we don't intentionally do it. Yeah. And very rarely, I think that it hasn't happened so far. I think it has happened in the past, but sometimes the fans do a theory that is so good that Cellbit gets tempted to use it, right? I'm definitely not saying that what you said is that, but I'm just laying out the different outcomes that come from the process of hiding clues and references, and in particular this season we had for the first time since I started working on the series, we had paybacks from previous seasons, so we had so much characters returning, mentions like the Circo de Diabo is referenced in Calamidade, and a lot of what Jeremias and minor characters we managed to include, and references and jokes, and like sometimes a word in a newspaper, it's an inside joke to something a player said 2 seasons ago. We like to do something like that. I like to do something like that because I'm a huge nerd with these things. I'm a massive fan of Order, so it's very fun for me to do things like that. But so that season, this season in particular, has been really rewarding for fans that pay attention to the whole series and go to the book and all the different media, because there's a lot of hidden references and Easter eggs and stuff. And sometimes I spend so much time putting something in the background that no one will see. You have no idea. I am bothering the 3D artists to put something, and it's like they don't even have time because they have so much to do. And I'm like, but I did a poster with this guy's face, and you want to watch on the stream, and like there's a token in front of the poster, and the poster doesn't even appear. So you wasted a lot of time. But I don't know. I like the probability there, because the more hidden the things are, the more rewarding it is for the fans to find it. And I know for the fans, they will find it. If it appears on the show, they will find it. So it's very rewarding to put these little connections and these Easter eggs and stuff.
And another favorite moment of mine with the Ixadombe was there was a poster, one of the posters in the base that they're in, the house, that has like a photo of a guy riding on a Pegasus. That was like, this feels like it's referencing something, but I couldn't like find it. So me and one of my mods inside, Gianna, went and was like looking and trying to find, and found the most obscure thing of like a collection of astrology books from 1824, which that picture was from, and it's like only from there. And I was like, how on earth did you guys find that? But then also suddenly I had a collection of like astrology papers from the 1800, where I was like, this is like, kind of cool. And
totally random.
The article, like it was from like the magazine it was from, it wasn't the article it was from, like referencing, but it was on the cover of an issue which was talking about one of the first times people saw the Southern Cross cruzo, one of the star things that can only
Cruzeiro.
like that can
Cruzeiro do Sul.
Cruzeiro do Sul, where I was like,
I get it.
Wait, this like one of those words probably like it's a happy coincidence, but like I love it. It was just it's so much fun.
The most fun part for us writers is when we ourselves find this happy accident.
Yes.
Because we are writing something and have you realized this connects to this? And then I pay Cellbit's attention. Look here. And oh my God, the answer was in front of us all the time.
Yes.
Right? We are having trouble connecting something or creating a new development. And suddenly it kind of writes itself. It happens all the time. It writes itself, and I was like, how did we not see this before? Or the worst feeling in the world, when the episode goes to air and someone comes to a theory and says, oh my God, that was so much better than we ever had. But it's too late.
Yes.
But you have to trust your instincts and the story, and we know the story is good, right? So But I love this stuff. I love researching. I love going to historical documents, and I work a lot with Edu Design, which is the designer that does the posters and in documents. He's really meticulous. He's really bright. He really likes to like if it's a character that's a certain way, his handwriting has to be a certain way, and he goes into crucial detail about this. And sometimes if it's a character that is related to another thing, the font is similar, is like he's really meticulously, and I love working with him because of this stuff. He really understands the symbolism in the documents.
Yes.
And it's really rewarding working this show, because the fans were gonna to tear it apart. They're going to spend a lot of time reading it. So it's not like we're giving much thought to nothing. We know it's going to pay off. So that's one of the most rewarding parts of the job. Is like putting details and like keep waiting for people to find. I often watch the stream with friends on the channel, and I get anxious to parts where there are documents and stuff, because I want them to react to something I wrote. It's really fun for me.
So for the writing on the documents, you're the main guy that does the writing there.
Now I am. In the past, Cellbit used to write most of the documents.
Okay.
Then in Segredo na Ilha, he and Edu did 50-50, as I understand, and they kept going. When I got in Quarentena, I think I wrote all documents on Quarentena and Natamacabro. And now, because there's a lot of lore that I don't even know, because it refers to things in the future of the show, and because the work of the season is so massive, Cellbit wrote some of the documents. I wrote some of the documents. Is more like that.
And then then Edu takes the text and like figures out the visual of it.
Then we work really close together. Me and him. Of course, they have deadlines, and this season the headlines have been kind of crazy. I hope Cellbit talks about that when the season is over, because it was real work this season because of studio availability and budget concerns, and it's a huge show, right? It's a massive show, so it has to make sense, right? But we have constraints. It's not unlimited. We have a lot of freedom, but we have constraints. So not everything is exactly like we like it, but that's part of the job. That's fun.
It never is
like
in a production.
Working with limitation is fun, right?
Yeah.
But I write it. But I'll give you the timeline of writing the documents. So Cellbit tells me, I need a document that say this. that establishes this, so the players know this rule or this information at this point of the series. So in that point of the series, they have that referred.
Yes.
Or it's something most for the viewers than the players, which happens not that often, but happens. It's like backgrounds, like a document talking about the backgrounds of the city and what happened there and stuff. It's not really useful to the players at that moment. It's fun when they speculated about, they talk, but it's not really that useful. The best case scenario is when we have a document that does both.
Yes.
It's the documents that are harder to write because you have to keep the story that is inside the document. Usually the documents have an inner story because it's someone writing it, the story of their life. So you have to kind of think in their mind, okay, who is this guy? Why is he writing this? What is the information that I have to pass through this document? And why is this important? And how can I make this not that long so the players don't get lost in the because that's something we learned over the years is when the document is too long, it's counterproductive because the players can get lost in the minutiae that are not that important.
Yeah.
The viewers can get lost in all minutiae they want because they have unlimited time, but we don't have unlimited time at the table because of the time of the RPG. So we have to be a little more concise. And Cellbit learned a lot about writing documents for the game. And Edu was the designer for the game also. So they are both really good at understanding what a document is. Often I'll write a document and Cellbit is like, I need half of that. Like I write a doc. And she, this is important, this is important. And Edu is very good at, okay, if this information is important, let's highlight it. Let's make it bigger. Let's make it another font. Like, let's put a drawing that is like another department. You have to ask an artist to do it. But usually that's it. Cellbit says, Cellbit and we are like, maybe we need a document here and stuff. Cellbit straight goes to me and said, I think a document here would be good for this scene. Or it's probably they will find it there. Then I'll go to Edu. I started writing it. I pass to Cellbit. He approves it, or usually he has something he wants to change. And then I'll go to Edu, and then we go back and forth. I think, I think the font has to be larger. I think this sentence is a little too big. Often he'll also say, I think I need another line here. Then I'll write something else to make visually more appeasing. And sometimes I get to say what kind of document it is. It has stuff in front of the back. You have to think about the physical document that is going to be handed to the players there. So that's another concern. It can't be anything because it has to be printable. It has to make sense when they hold it. It goes a lot. I can't write an entire book of things because it would take an eternity to read, but
it would be so awesome though. But there's a way to do it if you wanted to do it, which is like give the book to them and say you can read it off stream and come back, and we would tell them to write their thoughts and stuff. Like, we haven't done that yet, but that we have that ability, right? We can write things to not be read on the stream. We can write things that won't be handed to them, but will be shown on the monitor, like it's a sign or something. We don't necessarily have to give to them. So there's also that, like the rules of Hexatomb that they find when they go into the house are on the wall. Yes.
So it doesn't make much sense to give them a document because it's written on the wall. So we put the camera on the wall and they can read it from there. And then we also told, okay, if they don't, they can't read because you don't know the situation with the monitor at the moment, etc. Maybe you can ask them to take a picture and then have on the phone, right? And é isso. There's a lot of minutia that goes into writing the documents, but it's really, I think one of the, I love writing the background of the characters, but I think I like the documents more.
The documents are a lot of fun. Like as
it's so fun for me.
As a viewer, I love it. Like I started with the intention, I didn't fulfill it, but the intention was there for this construction that I wanted to like make little replicas of the important documents to put in. I bought like a leather notebook and stuff, and I'm currently got a longer project which is remaking the grimoire from Calamidade, having like a physical form, and then getting my favorite documents to put into it and stuff.
That's cool.
I like anything that's like crafty, and I see that it's like oh great, there's some theory stuff, but then I can also like try and make it. It's like Pedro in chat was saying earlier, like all the work you guys have done is really noticeable, and I think that's like, we're saying it's rewarding because you know that you're putting on in the work because the viewers will look at it, but the viewers look at it because they know that you put in the work. It's exactly a beautiful cycle.
Thank you.
Also, Chai saying that
I feel very lucky to do something that I love, and people also love it and appreciate it that much, and it's part of people's lives, right?
Yeah.
It's not like any other job when you go into the office, work, and at 6 you go home. I kind of work 24 hours because I'm always thinking about the show. I'm always thinking about something that we could do. I have the ability, because me and Cellbit have similar sleep schedules. I have always the ability to send him a message at 4 a.m. with an idea, and I'm really, it's really weird to be in this stage in my life and be so pleased with my job. And it's almost like it's not my job. It's like a hobby. Yeah. But it's both, right? It's fun.
But I mean, that's the dream, isn't it? Like
you get to. I wish everyone could live like this.
Me too.
Yeah.
Also, chat is saying that your English is really good.
Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes there's a word that I'm. How do I say that? But it's going.
Exactly. No, I think like one thing is pronunciation. Is another thing is like expressing yourself, and I think that's going wonderful. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Do you think I should do a podcast in English?
That would be awesome.
I don't think I'll be able to. But well.
Yeah, actually,
I'll admit to you, I'm doing better than I thought I would. I thought I would come here and I would be able to say a word.
That's what people always think, and I'm like, no, don't worry, guys, you will be fine. And I do the same thing where I don't remember words, and then you explain it or you say it in whatever language you remember it in.
Yeah. And you know enough Portuguese to understand when I am lost, right? So it's okay.
Like that's the thing. I've added a redeem on my stream that for like with the points for 10 minutes in Portuguese to force myself to try and speak more. It's interesting when it's during the Ordem streams because it's a lot of theorizing and I'm like, oh no.
Wow.
But,
theorizing in Portuguese.
We get through it.
What is a word that is hard for you to say it?
Well, I think it's like sometimes I feel like I'm missing connecting words. Because like I'll have learned like keywords, but then I'm like, wait, how do I like what type of two or like like first or me or like those I see. And then it's the time like at the
it's like English is not even your first language, so it must be especially hard.
It's like I'll think the sentence and then usually I think it in English and I'll be like, okay, how many of these words do I know in Portuguese? Okay, can I rewrite it so it's like similar meaning but with words I know, and am I sure of the grammar of that sentence, and then I'll say it.
Do you wanna hear something interesting? I've learned Cellbit writes. He doesn't do that with us because we have to work together. Even though the first season we worked with was in English, so we wrote the entire script in English.
Yes.
But when he used to write his scripts for his videos, that he has to read, he writes in English, because when he reads it in Portuguese, it doesn't sound rehearsed, because he's actually translating it as he reads it. Isn't that interesting? I thought about it. I thought I should do that. I never had the courage, but I thought I should do that.
Interesting. I just, because I've always done creative writing in English, because like I got a lot of the hobbies, just like with Ordem, it's been in different countries and stuff. So for me, like creative stuff is it just comes out with English. There's a bigger vocabulary than what we have in. We're more used to hearing English language when it comes to this stuff. But the interesting is my brain sometimes has been trying to do it with Portuguese as well when I'm thinking about Ordem, because that's the language, and then I'm like, brain, you don't know all the words, and it's like, I don't care, we're doing it anyway, and I'm like, okay. That is interesting.
That's really good. I've always often thought that the best way to learn a new language is traveling and talking to people because reading it and hearing it only takes you so far, right? Like this is probably the best English exercise I've had in years, because I have to actually try to talk, and there's not much time to think and stuff. When you're writing it, you can stop and how do I want to say this? Okay, but talking is by far from. See, I almost talk in Portuguese. Talking is by far the hardest for me.
Well, whenever you want a new a new lesson, you just come by.
Okay.
I'll be the practice.
Maybe I'll try Danish.
Oh God, yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, because you said you watched some movies. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful language. I can't get a word in. I don't know what they're saying. But I think it's a beautiful language.
Oh, that is refreshing to hear. The other Scandinavian countries always makes fun of us. Say we sound like we're talking with potato.
My family is part Italian for my mother's side, and my father's side is Hungarian.
Oh.
So it's really my last name, which I don't use it. It's a very Hungarian last name, unpronounceable. Like the words you were trying to tell us yesterday is a really hard word to say.
That is amazing.
That's. So I'm not that lost in this. Like family-wise, I might have some genes that can help me. I don't know.
Yeah. But I was actually, because you spoke a little bit about the workflow with the documents. I was wondering kind of like, what is the workflow with writing? Because obviously, like, this is overall Cellbit series, and but how much of when it comes to approaching a new season, like, is it he's bringing out like, here's the overall idea, you flesh it out? How much do you get to like get involved with shaping it?
For the RPG, I also work in the comics, but for the RPG, and now I'm kind of starting to work on the books and stuff. But I can't really talk about that. But
I can't read them. They don't ship to Denmark, so
one day. That's bad. That's bad.
One day.
Yeah. When I go to Europe, I will bring you something.
Please.
But for the series, there's not really one answer, because every season has been different. All seasons have started with some ideas I had.
Yes.
So Quarentena, which when I was called to write on Quarentena, he already had the first episode kind of shaped. He was already working on it, but he was so overworked with Enigma do Medo.
Yes.
So he was like, maybe I can like split the workflow with these two other writers. We are two writers, me and Biff, which he also lives in my city. He's a good friend.
That's great.
He works on the mechanics and the things that involve more the suspicious.
With the sheets.
I think so.
Character sheets.
He works in that with everything that goes along roles and stuff, the points. But and I worked on, especially in quarantine, I worked on the text, because one thing people may not realize, but I want to say most of the stuff Cellbit says is written, but a lot of what he is saying on the stream is written.
Yeah.
Because we have a massive script. For every episode, we have a massive script. Sometimes 30, 40. We had episodes with 80 pages of scripts, which is insane. Yeah, it's insane. With pictures, but then documents and stuff. But it's a lot of things, right? Because you have to think he is talking. He's talking straight for 4, 5, 6 hours.
Yes.
So there's a lot of text. So every time the characters go into a room, we have a description of the room, because especially in Quarantena, Cellbit wasn't there, even though his English is amazing, he wasn't that confident improvising. So everything he could have written, he had, and that became the rule for the other seasons. Everything we can have written, we write it.
Yeah.
He can use it or not. Sometimes he chooses not to. Sometimes he improvises it, changes on the fly. He's a very good improviser. But I write most what he's saying.
Yeah.
Only he writes the stuff that's important, right? Like like in Exatombe, there's the intentions talking. That's Cellbit. Or like a pivotal moment, that's Cellbit.
Yeah.
But most stuff he's saying, that he's reading, I am the one writing it. I like do the muscle work of writing the descriptions. I write the descriptions of the characters, the descriptions of the places. If we have something in particular that they need to see or do, I write that. I try to contribute something to the mechanics, like when there's an outcome specific that comes from a mechanic, I write some of that.
Yeah.
But it's usually more of this stuff, and I write. I work a lot on the characters. I love working on the NPCs. Yeah. Sometimes I choose their names. Sometimes I try to give ideas for references for the artists, and like in Exatombe, there were so much characters that kind of everyone pitch in. Me, Beef, and even other people on the staff had ideas, and then one character that we were really in love with, it doesn't really work for the show, so we discard it, and we have to have another character.
Yeah.
But the workflow is that, is like we do what we need to do to have the show done by the date we have the recording, right? It used to be live, which was insane, and we probably will never do it again. Quarantena would be a much better season if you had more time to produce it and have post-production like we do now. But it is what it is, right? The workflow was too insane. Then we learned how to do things a little more lightly for the crew. Yeah. Basically, is that during the episodes, I usually like the recordings now. I usually am here watching the recording live from the studio. So we have a stream that goes from the studio, unedited, and it's not like what you're seeing on the show, because that has been edited, that has the layout, and the cameras have been. We can watch it and we can hear it. Everything is. We can see the tabletop, but it gets changed later. We can hear the music and stuff. It passes through. It's like you're watching the show, but a crude version.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm particularly this season, I'm always talking to Cellbit through text.
Okay.
So, during the episode, I'm constantly talking to him, giving him ideas, trying to make him pay attention to something he missed. I became really good because for years my job was to pay attention to him and analyze him, because that was what I did in the podcast. Now I'm really good at feeling like, Cellbit is a little lost on this this element. He didn't listen when the player said that, or something like that. I became really good at it because, like I said, it has been my job for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm really tuned up to what is happening on the screen. So I'm always suggesting specific roles, like he doesn't know what role to ask, so I say, oh, maybe ask for science role, or ask for technology, I was saying last night, I was one of the big influences on Kemi Loy, which is Kemi and Eloy.
Yes.
Because when Kemi was on Kemi and Dalmo were in the circus, and she started flirting with Eloy, I was like, oh, that's good.
Yes.
So I started suggesting things to Eloy to say to her, and Cellbit liked it and started to use that. And I suggested that he asked her if she had a boyfriend, and that was what sparked their relationship.
That was your
my God. Sometimes beautiful I get work. Some stuff like that in right. I can get sometimes Cellbit, or sometimes he answers me on the chat like, I don't think so. It won't work like that, or I have something else planned, which always happens. He's really fast, and he's like in the middle of scene, thinking 3 scenes ahead what he wants to do. So I'm giving him what we have on the script, and he's not doing what they have in the script, and I think maybe he forgot it. No, he had another idea on the spot, and is moving the script in some way. So he will answer me, or sometimes I will watch it and I see what he's doing and stuff. But I try to not get too much in my head to, maybe he's not liking my suggestions. It's really hard, right? It's my boss. It's also someone I really admire. But I've become really good at testing it out and trying to send him stuff. And I think I had a good contribution this season into the improvisational part.
Listen, I don't usually ship the straight ships, but I am so here for Kemi and Eloy. I am fully there for them. I love them. No, that little line of the asking about the boyfriend as she left, that was a great moment.
But and it was like that because I think he liked it, but he kind of forgot because he had to play other characters and we had other mechanics to introduce. So at the last moment, he's, oh my God, he has to make a pass at her. So he did like at a distance, and he's a little shy and stuff. So I think
it's so great. But that's really interesting because I have been wondering, because I played RPG but always as a player, and I think that's probably unlike what you were saying at the beginning where you immediately was like, I want to GM. I feel like I'm very much like, no, I want to be in the world. I love writing and I love telling stories, but particularly with RPG, I don't think I could have all of that in my brain live.
What I can say is you'll be surprised because an off-string RPG is much easier than people realize. It's like a bunch of fun having fun. No one will judge you for not being able to improvise or forget something or something. They're if you're playing with friends and it's a really light environment, it's not a big deal, right? Of course, it's very different for Ordem, and that's something I actually talked to the company that prints the books.
Yes.
And I work for them. Jumbo, exactly. Luckily, it's also in my city, which is a huge coincidence, and I go there often. So I was there this week, and we were talking about that, and we were talking about there's a pattern that started in Critical Role, which is considered the biggest RPG in the world. Mm-hmm. I think we're on the cusp. I don't know. But,
I mean,
in some instances we're bigger than them.
Yeah.
But they're massive, right?
It depends on how you measure it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's when Critical Role started, there was like something that started to happen. That was called the Matthew Mercer effect.
Yes.
Which was like people started to get scary to DM RPG because they weren't Matthew Mercer, which was probably the best DM in the world. So it's like unfair to compare himself to him. But that's your only it's your only reference. That is the only person ever that you see in DM. It's the best one. So it makes people don't want to do it because it's hard. In Brazil, we had the Cellbit effect, but it's not really about DMing. It's about the production.
Yeah,
it's about people being scared to not be able to replicate what Cellbit is doing on their streams because it's a massive thing with arts for every single character.
Oh my god.
We realize we have art for every single character that appears in the show.
Yes.
And it's not just one art, it's multiple arts, and it's front, back, they're moving, it's a lot, right? So it's undoable. It's completely undoable for a non-profit RPG. So people get scared because of that, right?
Yeah, because like the Ordem campaign we did on my stream, which is called Secret in the City, which was as kind of a thing I was thinking of as well. I was like, it would be really cool if, you know, people were interested in watching an international fan table, but at the same time, I was like, how do I make sure that they know they don't have the expectations, please?
And that's much more closely to the way RPG has been played for the last 40, 50 years. It's not like Cellbit is doing. This is a new, it's a new way. It's like comparing, I don't want to play soccer because Ronaldo plays, like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But I get it. People get a little confused.
Especially because, like, I was the streamer and doing the OBS, but I was not the GM. That was one of my moderators was the GM, so I was like adding stuff I didn't know about things. but it's fun.
I get it.
But I was wondering, like, how does, because one thing is having an 80-page script, another thing is being able to file through it and find what you need in the right moment, especially because I assume you've written different paths for depending on what happens. So like, how do you navigate that? That's the hardest part to write
in the That's the hardest part that we realize writing the scripts, because especially in the first seasons, Cellbit's script was really basic. He knew the story, and he didn't really had much written down. He could improvise. He knew the characters, he knew the environment, he knew the documents, he knew everything. He was doing everything alone, so he was pulling the documents, he was pulling he didn't need anyone else to do it. He was also doing the music, he was doing everything, so it wasn't much pressure. So the script was extremely basic. The show started to become more complex and more complex. He started to realize that he likes reading, he likes having a particular scene written for him, so he doesn't have the chance to mess up. And I think that gives also the players the impression that, oh my god, something is happening. Cellbit is talking in a more assertive way because he's reading it. When you're improvising, even a great improviser like Cellbit can get a little lost. So it's good to have the script. Sometimes he knows the text so well he doesn't even read it. He improvises it, almost saying word for word. Like he's not looking at the script. He just knows the text because he in his head knows it. But the script has gone through, as I understand, a lot of different iterations over the years. The hard part of this job is like, there's no one else in the world doing it. Like what I do, my job as a live writer for a live RPG, even though it's not live, it's recorded. But but it's recorded live. I don't think anyone else does it in the world. It's just me and Biff. probably has that profession. So we don't have much to study. We don't have much reference to go to. No other stream of RPG is that complex, is that big as Order. Not even Critical Role. So it kind of we kind of have to do it ourselves and find our own way. So we started when I got in. Cellbit was doing everything in Google Docs.
Yeah.
So we have pages and pages and pages, and we structured it in a way that would be easier for him to find with another word I won't be able to say.
Like folders? Sections?
Yeah, something like the Abbas, but like folders.
Yeah, like the on the side where you can
things on the side. Yeah, you know.
I don't remember right now either.
Yeah, I should have a dictionary.
Tabs.
Tabs, exactly. Tabs.
Yeah, thank you, chat.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. We have everything in tabs, but even with tabs, Cellbit will get lost, and we have that thing that we see a lot in the street. It's like, wait, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. And we don't want that because it's lost time, right? We can lose the momentum sometimes. Like the player can be scary and what happened? And Cellbit is like, wait. Then the player is not scary anymore because he sees Cellbit is lost. So we don't want that. And this season, Cellbit started to, because of his puzzle streams and stuff, he started to use Miro, which is a board, and he started to plan out the RPG on Miro. We started we started to write the season on docs, and he would go through Miro and pull some stuff. And then we started to realize, oh my God, Miro is much better to lay out the structure of the episode, because we can have all the scenes there, and we can go to scene for scene, and we can have all the NPCs and the status and stuff and the documents. It can be all there in visual, and Cellbit knows where everything is because it's a visual space. And I'll tell you, I was not really onto it at first, and now I think it's the best way to manage your RPG session. Well, it's perfect.
Yeah, because I'm really like, you can do the thing where I've been seeing it from Cellbit as well with theories. So, and you can do the thing where you link, so you can click and then it goes to
and you pull the strings, and you have two things that are connected but are on opposite sides. Then you pull the string and okay, I know that from here I have to go here. Like in Exatomb, you have this huge map, and we have all the places like in Miro. So when the character go to that place, he just zooms in and okay, they are here. They are this description, this character is here, this object is here, this is the description of the object. We put everything by groups. I don't know how we didn't see it before, but it's genius, right?
Yeah.
And it works really, really well. We were talking about Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah, I was just thinking, it sounds like that.
It's perfect, right?
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of a Choose Your Own Adventure stuff. Because you can go from here. Oh, they chose that. Let's go here. Oh, they chose that. Let's go there. And we can so now we plan, like, we have a mirror for like every 3 episodes has their own mirror. So when a scene is not used and we would like to use it again, or a description of a place that they didn't go yet, we just take the description and put here. And it's another episode, you know?
Amazing.
Like the characters, all sheets for all characters of Exatomb are there. The sheets for all the players are there. All their abilities, everything that we use in this season is on Miro. So it has become much, much, much easier to organize our thoughts. One of my favorite things is, like, I used to do that in previous seasons, but this season is particularly interesting, is like following Cellbit's mouse on Miro while he's DMing. Like, oh, he's here. Okay. Oh, he went there. Why did he went there? Oh, I see. Like, he's looking for something that hasn't come up yet.
That's almost
so
like
fun.
do a screen recording and it's the director's cut, the behind
Kind
the
of,
scenes.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I when you first said Miro, I was like, because like for so much writing, that wouldn't be my go-to. But then you just started explaining it. I was like, no, yeah, the Choose Your Own Adventure books, it actually makes a lot of sense
but
if you get it
like,
organized.
Miro is not, you're right, Miro is not great for writing.
No.
Sometimes if you have to write, like I write the documents on docs,
Yes.
and then I copy paste them to there the documents in specific, we already copy paste them designed.
Yes.
Ready, like Edu has already done them, and we place them because then Cellbit knows exactly what he's looking at. He knows what document he has to pull from his file to give the players. He doesn't really need that because he's really good with this. He knows the story better than us, so it's not like we have to help him. It's the only thing we really have to help him is like I help him if paying attention to something because it's too much for one person.
Exactly.
Like sometimes we would say, oh, Baji's mic is too low, or maybe the player is not really sitting in the right place. He can go a little closer. Like something your director would do.
Yeah.
But something particularly from this season, because it's the first season with such a high next, and there's too much ability, too much characters and stuff. Biff and Isvaldi, which is the head of Jumbo, they watch the stream, and they help Cellbit account for the points and lives and PDs, because that's a lot to be able to say. Because sometimes the players take too much points, put some points they calculated wrong, or Cellbit has calculated wrong, or something, right?
Yeah.
And the public pays real attention to this, so we have to pay extra attention. We're trying to do our best. It can always be fixed in post, like if the players don't have done their math right. In the episode is going to be right because we're paying attention, but it's good to have the guys who really understand the system there.
Yes.
I think ideally we haven't gotten to this point yet, but someday maybe. Ideally, these people would be there on the studio, helping the players understand their sheets, and if they have any questions, they are there, and they can help Cellbit there finding his stuff. But we're not at that point yet. Maybe someday we will. Even though I will be, that's a huge spoiler, I will be at some of the recordings this year. I've never been to any of the recordings there at the studio. I don't even know Cellbit, which is crazy to think.
Wait, you've never met him?
I've never met him. I never met him.
That is crazy.
Because I agree. I've known him for 4 years now. I interviewed him for the first time in 2021. That was the first time I interviewed him. We kept contact all these years. We talked a lot, especially now, of course. I've talked almost every day. But I've never shook his hand. I've seen him in a panel when I went to BGS some years ago. I actually asked him a question at the panel, but we never shook hands. He said, "Oh, that's Stefano. He worked on Quarantena and stuff." But that was the most contact we've ever had. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Like it also just like speaks to how like distance is just not an issue with work like this. Like it opens up or tears down a whole bunch of barriers that would normally be there. It's like a whole new way of working. Like it's both really awesome but also kind of crazy that you can be such an intrinsic part of the project and never having been in the same right next to each other.
like I said, we can do so much from here.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if I'll be able to help much there like I help here, because I'm just in the chat talking to him. If I don't have a notebook, which I don't, I won't be able to talk to him. I don't know if they have an extra PC there for me or something like that.
Yeah.
Here I do. Here I have my computer. I can talk to him. I can pay attention. I have multiple screens to watch the stream and also see what he's saying, and also follow the script and stuff. There, I don't know how useful can I be, but obviously I want to be there because I want to see the magic.
Yeah.
Right? But that's something that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it's kind of awesome that he's able to pick people based on who's gonna be the best fit for the team instead of like who's in Sao Paulo. Because there's, obviously I'm getting to grips with how big Brazil is, but like any country has the issue of creative spaces kind of congregating around a few big cities, and if you aren't able to financially go there, then you're locked out of opportunities. I mean, I can feel even just making the move from London back to Denmark, I'm like, oh great, it's a completely different, there's not much here. So as a creative, like those barriers are kind of scary because it's often out of your control where you're located. So seeing a project like this kind of embracing that you don't necessarily need to, as long as you can be online at the same time, then you're able to make magic together. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's the advantage of working for a streamer.
Yes.
He doesn't really care about local. His audience is global, right?
Yeah.
He's now most famous for talking to people from around the globe in a server that had people from the whole intention of the server was for having people from around the world. He became really friendly with these people and they met, but it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't something online that everyone could share. So I actually love his philosophy on this, and it's not based on who is more experienced in the markets, and I worked for a lot of people that do think like that. It's like an old school way of hiring, and like, what's your curriculum and what university did you go to? No, most people that work for Order has never done art professionally before. They were hired from Twitter. Cellbit got into the DMs and he said, your work is amazing. Do you want to work for me? And you see the results. They're the best artists in this country. I think some of the best artists in this country are working for Order. We have people from all over Brazil, and we have people that our editor lives in Portugal. And he was invited to go to one of the recordings, and he said, I don't think I can go. It's like maybe someday, but it's not easy. Like for me, it's hard, but it's not that hard. Like, it's like I said, São Paulo is like 2 hours from here on a plane. From here is 10 hours. Like, it's much harder. There are people that live in the great state of São Paulo, like they go through bus if they have to go to recording, or they live in Rio, they can still get a bus and stuff. I can take a plane every week, like they're still crazy. but we don't have to. We can work from home. It's like I love that I can work on my own time. And right here in my bedroom, and like doing something that I like. It's like it's really impressive, the team he assembled from so many people that didn't ever do it what they are doing in Order before, and they're doing it well, and they're doing it probably the best. I'm not talking about myself, obviously, but they're doing it best than professionals that have been in the market for 20 years, because Cellbit wouldn't be able to connect with them. They wouldn't be able to understand what Order is. Everyone that works in the project loves it because they are fans. Cellbit only hires fans, right?
Yeah.
So it helps us that we have the same language. Well, on Saturdays when the episode is streaming, the team is watching it. Like they don't need to. They don't need to. They already that episode in specific is already finished. They don't have anything to do it. They watch it because they like it.
Yes.
They're fans. So it's really fun, right? It's a great environment to work.
That it sounds amazing, and I actually had no idea that there was people outside of Brazil on the team as well. Like,
I think we had a couple over the years.
Yeah.
The only one I can remember now is our editor, Ajota, which lives in Portugal.
Yeah. But no, I think it's really cool, and also just like, you know, it's aspirational. It gives hope that there is that kind of stuff out there. As somebody, like, obviously, like, I see stuff like this, and I'm like, wow, that would be the dream to be part of a team like that. And
it can be done, right? You don't need to be a huge streamer to set up something like this. It's just had to have the vision and the commitment.
Yeah.
And Cellbit has the commitment. You can say anything you want about him, but he is a relentless creator. He will fight for his project until the end. And he is not he's not the owner of a big company.
No.
Obviously, he's very successful, very successful streamer. But right now, he's not even streaming. He's only working on this project. It's like, it's special.
Yeah.
And we get that from him. Everyone does it. Everyone that follows him knows he's really passionate about his Order.
Yes.
So
it's commitment.
It's really cool, right?
And
it's
passion.
Really cool. I hope people take it from this is not, oh my God, this project is so huge, I won't be able to compete it. And it's not that. It's the opposite. It's like, wow, they did it.
Yeah.
We can do it too, right? Maybe if you want to do an RPG in Brazil, you can do it. There's a public for that. There's a huge market. Order is very successful. Is financially speaking, is extremely successful. We are, every time we release a new product, we sell it out. We get in the top sellers of the particular thing, like the clothing, the books, the comics. It's everything is a bestseller when it comes to Order. So that shows me in particular that there's a huge market that wants this. They want more stories from Brazil that are not exactly so popular or it's soccer or the things that are more commonly associated with Brazil. We have extremely creative people that are willing to do more abstract work and do something more fantasy, more horror, more of this kind of stuff. And I started seeing, not because of Order, but I think it's like a movement in Brazil to diversify a little more our media output, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Actually, I'm trying to think. There's like two directions to go in here, because like, at one hand, I really love to talk about Quarantena, and on the other hand, I kind of want to go down the more like themes and stuff about Ordem. I don't know, which way are you?
I'm up to you. And I'll talk about anything you want.
Okay, we'll go Quarantena first. Because, you know, it was your first project. But it is also probably the odd one out in many ways in like the, not discography, but, you know, like the library of Ordem. Like, what was that like?
That was really crazy. To be really frank with you, I was in a point with Ordencast where I felt I've kind of done what I wanted to.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things in the podcast. I've done my own RPGs. We did 2 seasons of an RPG DM'd by one of the authors of this book, Miguel, which is an amazing DM. I played in these RPGs, and it was really fun to do content that wasn't just a podcast, and it did really well on YouTube, and that really encouraged me. I was really happy with the way it was received, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to DM a campaign on Ordencast, and around that time we were approaching the 100 episode, and I was already like, oh, maybe I'll do a campaign, and I got to meet a lot of great creators. I could invite them to play, and I thought maybe I can even invite Cellbit. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And around this time we were planning that, and we were recording an episode, and you can watch the video online. It's really crazy. We were recording it, and I received a message from Cellbit while we were recording it. And it wasn't really common for me to receive a message from Cellbit. It happened very, very sparsely.
Yeah.
So I became really intrigued. I became so anxious. They come to a point that I said to the guest, "Can you excuse me for a minute? I have to see what it is, because I'm intrigued." So I clicked, and it was an invitation to be part of the team of writers. And I was
crazy.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, we've talked over the years.
Yeah.
He knew I was a writer, and I pitched him some ideas over the years, and he liked them, but for various reasons, they didn't come out.
Yeah.
So I think when he started to assemble a team of writers, he thought of me, and he sent me the message. It was a Monday. Today is Sunday, right?
Yes.
So tomorrow is?
Monday.
Yeah, it was a Monday. Yeah. I don't remember the names of the days of the week.
That makes sense, because it's also that's confusing to me in Portuguese too.
In Portuguese is much easier.
No, your Monday's the second day.
Segunda, terça, quarta, quinta,
it's the first day. Why is it?
Yeah. Yes. But okay. So it was Monday night. I received the message. I was able to suck it up and finish the episode, which was really hard for me. Recording with that in my mind. God. Then we go some time gone by. I didn't know what it was about, and it was 2023, and Cellbit was doing KSMP, right? So I've got into the meeting. I didn't know anything about the project. He said, "Oh, this is Beef." I knew him because he was an already very well established creator from RPG. He's a great DM, amazing DM, and he's a really creative guy. I love working with him. So we started to talking, the three of us. He presented the concept from Quarantena, which will be like a stream for the players of KSMP. It will be in English for an international audience. He was really trying to capitalize on the fame KSMP gave him. I think that was really smart.
Absolutely.
And bring them, it worked for you, right?
Yes.
And brought a whole nother audience to Order that wouldn't have come from anyone else. So we started to work on the script on Quarantena. He laid down the first episode that takes place in the base, and it was like, okay, that's interesting. Okay, now we had some ideas, we talked about it, and then we started talking about the second episode. And when he started to describe the second episode, I was like, oh my god, I think we have a trouble. The RPG I was planning on doing was exactly the same.
No.
We both wrote, like, it was exactly the same, because our reference was the same. It was the movie The Thing, which takes place in the Arctic. And I was planning on doing like an Arctic based campaign based on Among Us, the game, where there will be an imposter and something. And that was exactly the initial pitch for the second episode of Quarantena. And I said, I don't know what we. And I invited him to play in the campaign. So it was like it's too much. So I said, what do I do? He said, oh, I think we're gonna have to choose one. I said, oh, let's do Order, right?
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And I said, I'll write something else. I'll do it. But all the production I've started with my campaign had to go to the trash, basically, because it was too similar to Quarantena. It's crazy to think it's too much in parallel thinking.
But it also just means like you were the right one to call for the job because you had kind of.
I think so. Yeah.
Kind of already working on it before.
I think so. Yeah. I was able to put some ideas in the project, but like everyone knows, Stefano is very precise about his stories, and he had a good idea what he wanted. It ended up changing a lot, especially the second episode. It changed a lot. We couldn't really implement the imposter idea.
Yeah.
It became too complex, and maybe if you had another 6 months, we could try a mechanic that would work, but we didn't have the time. And because he already had the date that the players would come to Brazil, so we knew that would have to be the second episode. So it was really fun, but then I realized, okay, I can't do both. I can't do the podcast and work on Order at the same time. I tried to, but it was like the hardest months in my life. I was doing too much. I was because I also edited the podcast. I posted. I wrote an app because there were the script. Produced it alongside Nan, and I hosted. Then I had to edit, which was the hardest part. Edit a 2-hour podcast every week. It was really consuming me. It was too much, and and I wanted to be present, very present for the production of Quarantena, and I couldn't. And in the end, I was producing the RPG for the 100 episodes. So I was really stretching myself thin. Yeah. So I started to contemplate the idea of maybe I should stop this podcast. I've kind of done this, and over the years, we, the hosts, have grown and have done other stuff and have taken our lives different directions as everyone does.
Yes.
So it felt good to split and to put the project on hold, and eventually we decided, okay, we're gonna stop it there.
Yeah.
But Quarantena was very instrumental in putting this phase of my life where it is, right?
Yeah.
It helped me put things in perspective.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm very grateful.
Yeah, because I'd also imagine that having a podcast that's about theorizing and discussing what happens in an episode that you're also writing is I
couldn't do in the podcast the thing I liked most, which is like being surprised by the series.
Yeah.
I could talk in the podcast like I'm talking to you right now about the backstage things, the ideas and stuff, but it wasn't as fun. I could do that maybe one episode every season, but every episode.
Oh no.
Oh my God, my computer is like going insane. Are you hearing me?
You're back. Yeah, it was just for a second.
I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's like my computer does that sometimes.
Okay.
That was really the point where I started to shift from content creator to writer.
Yes.
Which is something I actually like better. I like doing content. I like especially how direct the responses from the content are to you, because you're the guy in it. But I like the process of writing is more. I like to think about it. I like to, like you said, put the references, research and stuff. I like that.
I like. I think I enjoy the researching side of it as well. It's just so like the idea of being the GM, delivering it all. I'm like, nah. Then I'd rather be in the improv. But yeah.
Well, I think you have to try it.
I will one day. I will one
Okay.
day. But yeah,
Okay.
no, the getting lost in research is very fun to me.
Oh, it's so fun. I
yeah.
love it.
It's listen, if you ever need some help with research on Denmark or Scandinavia or anything, you let me know.
Oh, that reminds me. We had a whole Norwegian plot on Quarantena, which was,
yes,
I think, scrapped.
With Amir Fjellspøgelse.
Yeah,
Maybe?
no, that's from this.
Okay, so he wasn't part of that. Okay.
Horror. No,
yeah.
there were, because the movie The Thing, there
Yes.
are a group of Norwegian. So I wanted to have Norwegian characters in Quarantena. So I wrote, I don't even know if I ever talked about this, but well, okay, I'll tell you.
Yes.
We wanted to have Norwegian characters. So originally, the head of Panacea was a Norwegian woman. Was the mother of Mikael was a Norwegian woman, and he was maybe Norwegian, maybe half Brazilian, half Norwegian.
Okay. Yeah.
I think at some times it changed over the process, and then we decided. I think we were overcomplicated much.
Yeah.
I think Mikael has to be Brazilian, and I think his mother also has to be Brazilian. She would appear in the second episode, and then we realized we didn't need we didn't need her there. It was another character that didn't serve much point. We actually ended up putting Gabi playing kind of that kind of character, like the treacherous woman.
Yeah.
And it worked better, I think, because having a player is always more fun than having an NPC. But what I did was there were these characters of the doctor who created the virus.
Yes.
And then I made him Swedish. Which is Matthias Bergman and Noah Bergman, who are the two brothers. And that's because, as I said, I love Scandinavian movies, etc. Is because of Ingmar Bergman, the Swedish director, which I think is a genius.
Yes.
So I kind of put this reference there.
Oh my god, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like obviously as an international watcher, and we spoke on the VC yesterday about how like Denmark has like a similar thing as Brazil with like whenever there's something close to us, we get excited because we're never thought of. Even within Scandinavia, it's usually Sweden first, then Norway, and then maybe Denmark.
Sure.
So like, watching with Calamidade, where it explores like Italy and it explores obscurité with France. I kind of got me thinking like, oh, what would like a Danish order system and organization look like?
You have to do it.
I've got ideas of like writing up what some different groups would be that kind of fits the Danish vibe, and the thing that you were doing in Exatombe with incorporating the Kibongo legend and stuff is something that I think is really fun as well. And we have some like folk creatures in legends and myths in Denmark as well. It's like, oh, that could kind of fit some Energia vibes and different things. So
I would love to see that.
Yeah, one day because then I'm also like, I look at like the work that Edu is doing with like I said, with the evidence. I was like, okay, maybe I could try and make some like pretty little creature page or something. So hopefully one day.
Do it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's
like I'm very lucky because I'm from the states Cellbit is from. I'm from Rio Grande do Sul. He used to live on the countryside here.
Yes.
So Segredo na Floresta takes place in my state. So maybe that helped to me to identify with the season. I don't know.
That is the season where
the accent is doing for the characters that live in Capazinha. It's very common accent from our countryside here. They will say like milk is leite. I say leite. They will say leite.
Yeah.
They
It's
will,
they
they
don't
will,
have the.
Ivete talks a little more like this, right?
Yeah.
She has the accent, which is based on Cellbit's mother and the people that from his city, which
Yeah.
is some cool representation from
Absolutely.
my own stage.
It,
So I get it. You have to do it. You have to do it.
It was also the season where I got the most upset in quotations with Cellbit's lack of geography, because he was talking about like a northern country
so
in
bad.
Europe with lots of islands. Fun fact, Denmark is made up of 500 islands, and some of the things he was saying I could link to like the Faroe Islands, which I'm part Faroese, or
cool.
and stuff, and then suddenly he's like, New Zealand. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And he meant Iceland, which
he meant
is
Iceland?
nothing.
And he compared Finnish writing to Norwegian or Icelandic, and I'm like, if you've ever seen those languages, no one in the north can look at Icelandic, at Finnish and understand it.
You know what? I think he learned a huge lesson there.
I think so.
That doesn't happen anymore.
That doesn't happen
anymore.
No,
it's not because of us. He doesn't let that happen. He goes to Google for everything. Now he goes to Google for everything. He doesn't really that's it, because he knows it's public. He knows the audience. He won't forgive him.
Yeah, but no, I was like, you know what? As a Dane, I took that personally.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, I know that you can't fully say yes or no to this question, but as an international person, I do have to ask: has there been thoughts? Is there any chance that anything international or quarantena related could happen?
I'll say what I can say.
Yes.
Which is, I would love to. I would love to work in another international season. I think we've learned a lot of lessons from quarantena. I think the biggest one was to don't rush things to make it live. It doesn't make much difference. No. We were so surprised at how much the public is enjoying watching the episodes edited and in post-production. This season wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for that. It makes it better. It's undeniable.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing it loses is this sport aspect of I am watching it live, I'm learning with everyone what's happening, but it still is that because everyone is watching the stream live also, even though it's recorded. So it doesn't lose that much, right? So I think we've learned enough lessons from quarantena to do either a sequel or an entirely different season in English with the expertise. I think we were ready, and I think it will work. I think it could work really well, because even though there were a lot of technical problems and a lot of people that watched it were a little frustrated over the language barrier.
Yes.
But I still think it is worth doing it, because we have a lot of content in Portuguese. It's not like we're abandoning the Brazilian community.
And you shouldn't.
Everything in Portuguese. Like is exactly Brazil is what made Order great.
Yeah.
But I think we can try it. I think it's worth it. Yeah. Cellbit is very fluent in English and in Spanish, so I don't think it would be much trouble for him to DM in either of these languages.
Yes.
But this not. It's as far as I'm concerned, I'll do it. But I don't have expert information.
No. Of course not. But yeah, no. There's definitely from the international side, several of us still here.
Yeah. I get it. And we would get a lot more if we would do it again. And then we will get like who would we invite? Who would be like. Bibinos was with Cellbit like the other day, like he would be a good guy to invite, and then we started to get, and now with Cellbit as big as he is, he can get like almost anyone.
Yes.
With a good pitch, he could get almost any creator he wants, right? So, so it's like more a matter of what story do we want to tell and with whom, then can we get it or not?
Yeah. I also wonder if because aside from like English and the players, Quarantena, obviously, like I said, I haven't seen the two other spin-offs. But it did also feel like a different kind of a different part of the Ordem universe. Like there's no rituals. Like it's more science focused. Which I remember because I had watched, I think, the first half of Initiation, and I had heard about like the elements and that kind of connection through QSMP. And then watching Quarantena, I was like, this doesn't feel like the same universe to me, but I guess I'll understand one day. And now I'm through the main story. I'm missing 2 seasons, and I'm still a little bit like, it's the same universe, but one day it'll make sense to me.
I get it. That was by design. This season was conceived to not have much relation to the other seasons.
Yes.
Because Cellbit was afraid the international public would get lost and would feel excluded from having a lot of reference to the Order and the stuff. They would understand it. So Cellbit was like, let's use the system to just tell a story. And tell this 2-part story, and you can use the monsters and stuff, but you won't have much connection to the main story. I kind of think now, thinking about it, maybe you should have connected more to the main story.
I think it might have been easier for the Brazilians.
Yeah, and they would feel like the story mattered more. Yeah. Because the public really wants the continuation of the story. What is happening now? They were already frustrated because the story of From Calamidade has stopped and hasn't gone anywhere. And then
I don't understand.
Introducing these side characters and introducing these other locations, and then it has nothing to do with Kian and the Order and Silverissimo and stuff. So I kind of understand their frustration and their apathy, but it is what it is, right? I think it's a good season. I think it's fun. Yeah, but it's not the most important season. I'll grant you that.
I think just like we were talking about in the beginning, it also depends on what kind of viewer you are, and of course, like all ways of being excited about the stories that are told is valid. Like for me, anything that expands the world lore, that expands on like the universe of how Ordem and Outro Lado and all of that works is exciting. Like I love when I can start almost like getting philosophical of like for example in Exatombe, like a lot of like the questions of like what in Ordem, what defines who you are. And like, is there a soul? Is there memories? Like, like those kind of things. Because this is a whole universe. Like, it's not gonna. So in some ways, it functions a lot like our world, but then there's distinct ways it doesn't. And like spin-offs for me makes a lot of sense in that way, where it's like, well, you're fleshing out that it's not just one story. It's like a whole thing. And it's obviously like I have no idea what's gonna happen going forward and with Calamidade Part 2 and after that, but it's something that I at least would be excited about seeing more of those type of stories where it's like, okay, we expand different aspects of the universe or maybe go to the past. Like you see, you know, we've had Sumerians brought into it. There's been some links to like Egypt, ancient Egypt through Nubi and kind of seeing some of like what else happens in the universe or other instead of it. So it's I like the world. I like the world a lot.
I love that the universe of Order is very rich, very complex.
Yes,
we have so much places to explore. I get suggestions from people all the time from, why don't you do a medieval Order? Why don't you do Renaissance? I don't know. The people are always suggesting new sceneries, new locations,
New countries.
new approaches to the stories, new codes. Exactly. But people are suggesting different. And I think that's the sign of a great place to start your story, because it means it has the potential to do almost everything.
Yeah.
And as long as the base is there and the base of Order is very firm and it's very rich, you can build it above it. And I think the spin-offs are Cellbit showing, okay, the story of the Ordo Realitas is very interesting, and we're going to keep exploring it, and they're the main focus of the show. But there are also other stories that connect to that. They show how the paranormal functions in this way or that way. I'm like, I was the one that came up with the name Panacea, which is like means a cure for everything in Latin. But I think it's Latin or Greek, I don't know, but I know it's like that. But it's like a huge part of the lore of Order is like people using the paranormal for the wrong reasons. Yes. And Panacea is in a very unique place because in their twisted minds, they think they're doing the same in the world by doing experiments and trying to use the paranormal against itself, but not realizing the damage they are doing to the world. So I mean, there's a lot of potential there that we could explore in the future.
Absolutely. I mean, in a way, that's like part of the whole Kian story as well. It's that he thinks that this is gonna save the world, and I think that's something that I found like an interesting concept that personally I wish was explored a bit more in a morally gray way, and a thing that really excites me about Exetombe is having these like complex characters that are killers and that have bad intentions, but are also people with backstories and lives that shape them, and that like I think it's amazing, especially with the NPCs, that you've been able to write so many NPCs that we know are bad people in quotation marks, like they're doing bad things, but you speak to them and then you're like, wait, I like you. And I think that's awesome. And
you kind of understand them, and you kind of don't really understand their motivation, but you kind of sympathize with them for some reason.
Yes.
And or I think the best kind of character is the one that you don't know how to pinpoint.
Yes.
What is this character? What is his role in this season? I think that's a sign of a character well written, when the public doesn't really know where to fit him.
Because also that's people. We are like sometimes we're gonna be bad people. We are usually trying to do the right thing, but what the right thing is gonna depend so much on like who we are, how we grew up, all that amazing psychology stuff that I also adore. And that was for me with Kian and Kalamidaiji, with the scriptors. Avi, I hope you're not here. I saw you in chat earlier. Spoilers. Was something I was kind of wishing had been delved into more. And now kind of getting that, especially with Enhi, of course, linking to that, like we've seen Enhi at his worst, but now having we're getting more of the backstory, and you're like, of course a kid like that turns into this with what he's been through, and it's like you can't excuse, it's not an excuse, but you can understand and you can empathize, and it's why Scalia is one of my favorite episodes, which Kamlamidaju, where this whole discussion about whether or not Gao should be saved. Because that to me is super interesting, like looking at that aspect. And I think even the Order itself, which is also I feel like kind of being explored a little bit with the main characters not being sure of how part of them feels about it, is like, well, the Order has definitely made some calls, which depending on which side of it you are, might not have been the best idea. And
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I think one thing I've been paying attention this season. I really wanted to do a video talking about this, but it has been impossible for me to find the time. But one complaint I've heard this season is Agatha's plan doesn't make sense. She's risking the lives of these people. Why Ordo Realitas would do that and stuff. And people have a too simplistic a way to look at things, I think. Because Order is the group is made of people.
Yes.
And people make mistakes. And people have bad plans sometimes. And Agatha is a 18-year-old who has never done anything like that. She could have made a bad plan. Doesn't mean we wrote it badly.
Exactly.
We're writing what a 18-year-old would plan, right?
Yeah.
And people either forget that or they don't want that. They want the heroes to be perfect. Like the episode they aired last night.
Yes.
Was the first episode where Baji started to play Jai like more of a dubious character, more self-centered, more egotistical, but that's the character.
Yes.
That was established in Natal Cabro. That's the character. And that's much more interesting to the story, to have a character that you can really understand. It's not about, we are all good friends. They are not all good friends. They are all killers. Yeah. They are all in there for something that we don't really understand. Neither do they understand why they're there. But I love when the characters go beyond the narrow assumption that people made of them.
Yes.
Like there are seasons where the heroes, the main characters are heroes, and even then they can do things that are complicated. But in a season like this, they are dubious characters. They are not. They are in Exatombe. They're not in a school fair. Yeah. Right? Everyone is there for bad reasons.
Yeah.
Even the main characters, they are kind of to end the Exatombe, are not questioning themselves, do we want this?
Yeah.
Or do we want what our body wants, which is to fulfill this ritual and ask the devil for something? And maybe we can do good with that. That was something that was discussed last night. I think that's a much more interesting discussion than a discussion of good versus evil. You know, it's a much more practical discussion.
And also, like, one of the things I like a lot about like science fiction, I like about fantasy, is that you can tell very real stories about real life and humanity, but through the lens of something other. So you get to explore themes in a way that you might not be able to, because it would be uncomfortable if it was one-to-one.
I agree.
So like, if it didn't have that moral complexity, like it wouldn't feel as rich, like it wouldn't be Ordem.
I agree.
And you know, like Nifty was saying here with like Agatha, because like I am one of those people who's like, no, Agatha's plan doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that the Order would allow this, but it's me being like leaning into the world and being frustrated with the character as if I was in there. It's not a frustration with the writing, because of course she's a highly traumatized 18-year-old who has been pulled out of the rest of the world when she was 15. Like, no. And then as Nifty said, like, but what superior allowed that? Does Agatha have that much freedom? She was kind of leading the whole occult section, but that's the interesting part, because then you start being like, no, this feels illogical, and then you have to go into, okay, so what led to this to happen? Because, you know, and that's where you can get all the interesting nuances and stuff. And like, I'm all for not liking characters or disagreeing with things characters did, but it has to be done from a like an in-world kind of way instead of a...
I think the biggest criticism that we would get would be if it didn't fit the character.
Yes.
If people said Agatha wouldn't do that, then I would be okay. Then we created an inconsistency.
Yeah.
But I don't think the case. And but did their her superior allow that? Well, that isn't explained.
No.
That isn't very clear in the season. And also, one thing that I wanted to talk about in this video that I ended up not doing, which is not a spoiler, but it's just a thought exercise, is like it's for the inner workings of the Order. Is like there are people there, and they are not always making the best choices. Like, have you ever seen a government work? Have you ever seen, like, when a national tragedy happens, people make mistakes, or horrendous mistakes, and you think, how are they not prepared for that? How did that happen? And we're talking about a billion-dollar administration.
Yes.
Can you imagine, like, an organization that runs in the basement of a bar?
Yeah.
It's like much cruder place, right? So I think people have to stop idolizing and trying to find the perfect solution for everything, because that's bad writing.
Yes.
When things are simple, it's not realistic. Life is not realistic. Life is complex, it's hard. It's one of the central themes of the season, is how difficult it is to make the moral choices, because you don't even know what moral is.
Yeah.
And so I think we didn't make a mistake, because it's very in line with the story we want to tell, right?
Yeah. It's like one of the recurring themes that my chat will recognize from when I'm watching Ordem is that I have beef with Verissimo and ages of people, and some of the way like Agatha was handled and stuff, because I look at some of these and I'm like, babies. Like I almost cried when the agents the blah blah blah, so from the kiddos from Descontrol Zone showed up in Natal Macabro. Yes. I see. I can never remember that word, because I was like, no, you're like 18 and 17. Why are you here? And how I wish that the Order would like criticize that within itself. But whenever I'm criticizing that, it's never me being like, why would you guys write these people? Because
it's almost like you were a real character inside the universe criticizing Verissimo.
Exactly. Because like we send 18-year-olds to war in the real world. Like that's also crazy. So
I agree.
And the thing about this, like Verissimo, I see him as somebody who's trying his best, but is not always the most emotionally intelligent person. And of course, like you don't know when a deeply traumatized 16-year-old shows up on your doorstep, and you're also dealing with your own daughter and this whole big thing. Like, what do you do? So it's easy for me to sit there and be like, oh, I think he should have done that, and he should have done that, and that's part of my job as the streamer reacting and discussing the story. But it makes sense for Verissimo.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think that's really fun, but I also know that some people see me doing that and they think I'm being like, no, Verissimo, I don't like him. Like, no, he's a man. He's just a man. You know?
Me and Cellbit just had a discussion about this, because when Segunda Floresta was airing, for some reason, people hated him. People thought Verissimo was the most irresponsible, the worst guy, was putting them in danger and stuff. And you know why people were thinking that? Because that was the characters were saying.
Yeah.
The main characters were frustrated with him, were criticizing him.
Yeah, of course.
So when the main characters have an opinion, usually the public goes along. When that shifted, and the character of Arthur, for example, idolizes Verissimo, then people started to love him. So it's like, okay, but is he a good guy or a bad guy? Because you're giving me mixed messages here. And the answer is he is both, obviously. And it depends on the angle of the story. It depends on how you are watching it, because you seem to be almost always looking at the morality of the thing from the point of view of the main characters.
Yeah.
It's almost always like that. When Pomba appeared for the first time on the third episode, people wanted him dead.
Yes.
Now that the character turned around and started to treat him like almost like a son, now everyone loves him. So what do you want? Like it seems incongruous. Like it seems like yes, it seems like two different opinions of the same time, and that's very human. We have that all the time, but especially in the RPG, I wish people would notice they are reacting this way.
Yeah,
they are so attached to these characters, they are almost blindsided.
Yeah,
and I wish they could see the story more of an aerial point of view, still caring about the characters, still caring about the story, but kind of like, why do I hate this character?
Yes.
Why again do I think this is a problem? I think it's more because the streamer I love is saying it than that I really have this opinion. So I would ask people to think this through a little bit more.
I also think it's one of the fun things for me is from discussing what's happening and talking with chat, and sometimes people have different opinions to me, and recognizing wait, why is it I'm feeling this way, or why is it this plot twist, examining that. But I've also always been really interested in psychology and why humans do the way they do, so
me
that
too.
fits within that, and that's another thing I love about Ordem, that you get to explore lots of different people and situations you wouldn't be. So what do you, because we've spoken about
I can stay a little longer, but I have another interview at 8.
Yes.
So I don't really have much time, but we can have a little and a few more questions if you want. So just giving you a heads up. I'm
keeping an eye on the time.
Okay, no.
Yeah. Just quickly, because we've spoken about some of the things we like about Ordem, and on the stream we've talked about what we think the stories are about, or the big themes. If you were to describe Ordem in thematic ways, what do you see it as being?
This is really hard.
Yeah.
I had trouble with that in the past. I've thought about that a lot. It's a really vast world, right?
Yeah.
It touches on a lot of things. I think it really depends from project to project, and I mean from the season to season. And I think the most philosophical work of Order is Enigma do Medo. I think it's the best one to talk about the human condition, and I think it touches on something very particular about why we are here and what is the meaning of our existence. I really like what Cellbit did there with the story of Jazer. I say Jazer, it's not right, it's Jazer, but I always say Jazer.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great character. I think he embodies this this struggle we have with our own purpose in life. I think he's a character that doesn't have a choice, and what that makes him. What are you if not someone that makes a choice? I think it's also very telling of the series, because the whole series is about choices. Because it's an RPG, you can have much more choice than in a regular scripted series, and the whole concept of the marcas come from that, from the idea that no, you can do your own story. You don't have to be bound to what you're told and to what the people expect from you. You are free to do what you want. I think that's a very powerful message, and I think it's a message that resonates a lot with the audience, because it's a very young audience that is finding their own voice in the world, and it touches people from all kinds of life. So I think that's a very good message that sometimes is very well addressed in the show.
Yeah, that's also one of the big things that we've been talking about when talking about Exetombe, because the whole like you have these marcados who are in situations that very much feels like other people are pushing them into, now you need to go into this, and you're in a body that you don't remember choosing, and you're following whims that you don't know why you have, and it's like the tension between being free to make a choice, but then you still have everything around you that impacts that as well. I think it's very interesting.
It's really hard because you want to trust your instincts, but you also want to do what you think is right. So it's a constant struggle. And we live that every day. And I think that's one of the main themes I see in the show as a whole. I think it's this push from within, from things that, okay, this doesn't seem right, but is it right for me? Like a lot of characters in the show go through that, through the self-realization that they are important, that their choices do matter, that they really need to listen to someone above them to tell them what is right and what is wrong. Sometimes there does great things. Sometimes it doesn't do great things, but that's the human condition.
And like, you know, we're saying with the whole Agatha thing of like how would superiors allow that? Well, I mean, in Calamidad, you already explored the whole, like, you know, the fight between Joey and Arthur of like, well, they're too higher ranking with two different opinions on how to solve and what would be the Vidissimo, the order way, and you know, I think there's a lot of that of like you can make a choice based on what you think, but you don't always hit the mark, and then sometimes you do.
And you don't really know what side to be on a fight. Both sides are right and both sides are wrong. And they have very good reasons to believe what they believe and to do what they do, and you totally understand Joey's anger, because Gal doesn't really need to be alive. He's a monster. He's done atrocious things, but you can also understand Arthur's side, because what is the point of killing him? What would that accomplish? Nothing. It's just an act of revenge, and revenge will only take you so far. It doesn't really do you much good. I don't think Joey would be particularly happy to killing Gal. I think that would come to hunt him. Just like did all the deaths he's under his sword, right?
And then you have like Danchi doing the whole like thing that we're kind of experiencing with Anhi, which is like, well, you know, it's a product of how he was brought up. Everybody deserves a chance, and everybody deserves redemption, and like, what is the worth of a human life? Like, and that you have two characters that have come from the same background, Gal and Dante, and they grown up to be very different. They could be the same in a parallel dimension. Dante could be a terrible occultist that would kill a lot of people, and Gal could be a good guy, but that wasn't what happened. It was different. So it's a lot about the way you're brought up and the choices you made in your own path. You know, with like themes and stuff, obviously we've spoken about like how this is an RPG, and obviously it's unpredictable, and you have players that are making choices. How do you approach that as like a writer? With there are things you would like to get told in the story, but how do you, the whole like idea of railroading, like to me, some railroading is necessary in a piece of entertainment because you need to have a beginning, middle, end. But obviously you still need to have the whole RPG side of it.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. You have to have both. You have to have the. I think our philosophy is probably not the best one to admit it, but our philosophy is we have to make the players believe they have full free will.
Yes.
And they don't.
No.
They absolutely don't. But you have to fool them. You see? They can't do absolutely anything.
Yes.
It wouldn't work for the season.
Yeah.
But they can't feel the constraints. They can't feel that they can't make the choices because we are watching them make the choices. That's the whole show, right? Yeah. So we have some things prepared that we need them to do, but we have to kind of wait for them to get that realization, and we have to wait for them to come close to that, and then Cellbit can kind of guide them lightly to the path. Very rarely Cellbit has to be a little more heavy-handed because they have strayed too far, but it almost never happens. But of course, we have often like 3 choices of things that could happen. You can imagine 3 different outcomes. Sometimes it doesn't happen any of them. It's a fourth one we never knew was possible. That happens too. But we have to be prepared for almost anything. We talked about almost every possibility. And at least we try to, because it's not possible. Yes. But we try to think about almost everything that could happen and how to make it more clear to the players the path that they could take. Yeah. And what is the real choice they have in front of them? If it's not clear for them what is the choice, then it's not really a choice. You see? So that's writing. That's the good part of writing the show. It's presenting the choice the best way you can. Yeah. And of course, I have preferences. Cellbit has preferences. Everyone has preferences. And then when that doesn't happen, oh no, that sucks. Like I like Cammy and Eloy. If she killed him, I will be upset. Yeah. That wasn't the story I wanted, but it could be a great scene. Like I sure Biamon would be an amazing scene of regretting doing it and going back to her killing past. Like it could do a great scene, but it could also be a great romance that could lead to another thing. I'm always thinking, almost always thinking 2-3 steps ahead in terms of the story, in terms of the season finale, of what I want, on what could lead to interesting possibilities. So if they take a choice that is almost a dead end in terms of the narrative, I'm not that excited. Yeah. Most probably what would happen, and has happened a lot of times, it has happened this season, when they took a choice that I was like, okay, I don't really like the choice, but we have to work with that. Yeah. So we'll have a meeting after the recording, and we talked, okay, they did that. How can we follow that? And then it's fun because it's a challenge. Yeah. You get to, okay, I see that. We could use that to do that. And then we have a new story. Right? Yes. And there's a lot of that.
So final question. If you had free reign, what would be what kind of season would you want to do within Ordem?
Oh my god, I've thought about that a lot too. Yeah. I was thinking, I shouldn't even say it because I should do it someday. I was thinking today of an idea for the season of Ordem Paranormal. It's a season that takes place in the backstage of a movie. And the movie is an adaptation of O Espreitador. They're adapting the book into a movie, and things start to happening because they are messing with the paranormal, and things start happening in the production of the movie. Yes. And I think that would be so fun. Yes. And I had that idea today.
That would be very fun. Yes. Oh my god. Well,
Yeah. I will do it. I will do it.
yes, please. You know, I could go on for several more hours. So if you ever feel like chatting again, would be more than welcome. We still have plenty of more questions.
Sure.
Either way, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was a great talk. You have really good questions. I think you have some journalistic background there. I think you're doing great.
Thank you.
It was really fun. Thank chat for being here. I hope my English wasn't that bad.
No.
I hope you were able to understand what I was saying. It was
absolutely.
Really cool.
I really enjoyed this, and thank you for talking to me. Like, I love digging into stories, but also just like hearing people talk about their passions, and if there's anybody else on the team or something that feels like coming on and talking about their stuff, I'd be happy to.
I'm sure they'll love it.
Yeah, like I think it's really cool just getting some more insights in people who are like working on these stories that we love. So thank you so much.
That was really, really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Amazing. Well, yeah, I will let you go on to your next thing.
Thank you,
ciao,
guys. See you.
Boa noite.
Boa noite.
All right, chat. Here we are. I will absolutely ask Stefano if you would be willing to come talk again, maybe after Ixadombe, because Nifty, we didn't get to the comics. I would love to pick his brain as well on like thinking about adaptations, but I think genuinely I have like got through half of what I wrote down, but I think it was a really cool conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Even like couldn't quite be reacting as much to what was happening, but I at least really enjoyed just listening to him talk about his things, and I hope you had a good time. So thank you so much for being here, and you know, maybe we get to do it again with some other people. You know, I will do my best to gain the courage to reach out to more people. If you guys thought I did a good job at this, you know, I'm not gonna be mad if you know, suggest me to people to come and chat. You know, it would be very fun. I'm not very good at asking people to help with that kind of stuff, but you know, more voices vouching, especially as a tiny streamer, always helps. But I had a great time, so I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of info. I don't know if people did it great. No, thank you. Oh no, I'm not asking. No, Nifty, I'm not asking you to be oh god, I'm asking you to be suggestive. I'm asking you to like go on Twitter and be like, yo, this was really cool. Hey, other cool person, if you want to do a cool thing, maybe, you know. Or like when the VOD comes out and the clips comes out, be like, wow, she did a good job. What wouldn't it be cool if more people wanted to let her do a good job? Wow. That kind of stuff. I'm not asking you to be suggestive. Oh my god. Be super nice to get Hania to talk about the art part of Ordem. Yes. I honestly would love to do an Ordem podcast. Yes! Hideki, you're getting it. Oh, Cellbit, there's a really cool streamer that wants to do an interview. Oh. Hello. I feel like an English Ordem podcast would be cool. It's you know, it's kind of what I was trying to do a little bit with the Exathombe streams, but I just don't know if there's enough time with bringing people on and stuff. You know, I'm I've been testing it out. I hope Cellbit, your favorite streamer, just invited you for an interview. Exactly. Please. Ooh, Avi, that would be awesome. You know, pull strings. I love talking to people about things that they're doing that is cool with stories. But yeah, I know Ordemcast also got a lot to talk about the map making at Samavosny, I think, and she was in Loa, and she was super excited to be called. Ooh, okay, hold on. I am Pixel. I am noting this down. Thank you. Also, Avi, I'm so sorry. I forgot to warn you when spoilers were happening. So, I hope you caught that. But yes, I will also go to bed very soon. I was up until 5 a.m. because of Exatombe, and now it's almost midnight. Good. I said Kalamidaji at some point as well, and I was like, Avi, I hope you're not here. But yeah, I feel I want to watch. I need to go back and watch some of the Ordem cast, because I think maybe doing a podcast could be cool. I've done a little bit of stuff like that at uni. Maybe just do more of the streams. What, for you guys that watched Ordemcast, what was your favorite part of it? And especially for those of you who then also have watched me, what are some things you think I could learn from that? Here we go. Let's do some. I liked when they did silly quizzes. Okay, interesting. The little games. Okay, I'm gonna need some context on that. I think Ordemcast had a really good balance between critical commentary with Stefano and fun fangirling from Nan. Okay. Because I think what I've been doing with streams is more theory and less critical commentary, probably. But I do like the kind of talking about how stuff was done, both from production and from writing. But I haven't leaned into that as much as I have as like try and be like, okay, let's do theories, because that's kind of what I was doing during Reacts as well. But I think that could be fun. Their personal views were always honest, and that mattered more to me. Yeah, because I think that's another thing I like struggle with, finding the balance between and actually I think talking to Stefano today actually really helped with that. Of like, I mentioned some of the things that I bring up as criticism of not the writing but of the characters in it, and I never want to come across as somebody who feels like she would have made better choices as a player or written it like a character differently as a writer or anything like that when it comes to analyzing the episodes and analyzing production and stuff like that. But I think it's very fun to give perspectives from like a personal, like kind of like what I was saying with Verissimo and Agatha, like it doesn't make sense to me, but obviously they're people, not everything people do is going to make sense to me. And sometimes there might be storylines that are not as much for me, but then are like plot lines that might not be as much for me, but then it's always from the respectful angle of like, and that's okay, it's a subjective opinion, but finding that the line between that, I think is something I want to work on. I think theorizing also gets a bit into it. I love that thread you made about the map when it was first shown. Thank you. Yeah, I love that. I think it's something that I would do differently for next time where Ordem is live is do these things at the beginning of the week instead. Because right now I'm recording reacts with Izzy in chat. Because reacts is kind of what I've done with Ordem, and then it was like, oh, suddenly I can't do that anymore, and that's kind of weird. And Izzy is watching it with me to kind of get a heads up on the gore, and then we end up doing a lot of talking, but that does take a lot of time, and it means that I don't really, because I'm rewatching throughout the week, it comes to Friday, and that's when like the theorizing gets going, and then in terms of making clips and getting that out there, it's always going to be a week delayed. And I think maybe for next time, I just don't do the reacts and then go through, maybe do a stream like kind of going through the episode, talking about what happened and, you know, reactions to production and to certain character choices and that, and then maybe try and do some theorizing on stream instead of. That's another thing that I kind of struggle finding the balance between, which is how much of the theorizing research, putting things together to do on stream, and how much to like do off stream and then bring to you guys. Because I like watching other people do it on stream. I just fear that people would find it boring if it's not as fast pace, or there's some quiet air of me reading through things and stuff. Yeah. They would usually do quizzes to test the players and Cellbit's knowledge on stuff, for example. Okay. See, I would love to do that. It requires players and Cellbit. All right. Okay. No. It's good. I can take a concept on, and then we flip it in a way that works for 10 to 25 viewers level. Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. Yeah. All right, well, that's good to know. I think it's interesting. You can just test your friends. True. It is interesting. Obviously, I'm not solely an Ordem creator. I play games as well. I do other fun stuff. But it is kind of interesting, partly being a creator that's creating about somebody else's content and kind of having to work to that schedule. And then it's like, oh, what do you do when there's nothing on? And then suddenly there's stuff on, and then it's on. You know, all I am is Exatombe. And then there's gonna be a big gap where there's just nothing. And it's an interesting experience. If get to talk to Stefano again, that's something I will ask him about from the Ordem Cast days. But yeah, critical commentary, fun fangirling. I think that could definitely be fun to watch. All right, well, I think I'm gonna head to bed because I have a bit of a headache, but I really enjoyed this stream. It was awesome. Stefano was awesome. What a nice guy. I'm fun. Aw, thank you, Pixel. I appreciate that, and thank you to the people who followed and for the bits. Adam, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you for the bits. Noitie, Crystal, Luna, thank you for following. Shulish, the Sammys, muito obrigado por seguir. Yeah. I am on Twitter That's not how you spell Twitter. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on. We have a Discord. If you wanna know when I do stuff next, that's where you can find it. It's where you can find the community. We talk about Ordem when there's Ordem to talk about, and as soon as Exatombe is over, pretty soon after, I'm gonna watch O Segredo na Ira, and then I'm gonna watch O Sinais de Outro Lado. So there will be content of Ordem. There's also games. I kind of pull a similar. I feel like I'm pretty similar when I watch Ordem and when I play games. I like theories. I like stories. It's a fun time, and yeah, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for. Oh God, what a crazy thing! What a crazy thing that one of the biggest. A writer of one of the biggest RPGs in the world, who's in majority of fans like community, and also all of the production is in a different language, had wanted to have a little chat with a tiny streamer on the other side of the world. Isn't that cool? What a cool international world we live in. It's a perfect example of another thing that's my favorite thing about Ordem. There are many things that are my favorite things about Ordem, but just the bringing people together and the opening doors to be able to get to know people you otherwise never would get to know, and see how you can find people that you relate to all over the world. And you know, like I said, it's been fun to learn about all the different references that they do in Ordem, and a lot of that is Brazil, and it's given me access to a whole culture I probably never would have stumbled into. You're so right, Hideki. The true paranormal are the friends around the world we made along the way. And with that, I will listen. Let's see. Oh, we like RPGs here. A cool person, Maestre Digo, is doing primeira sessão, Amigo da Vizinhança, Além da Nevoa RPG. The Brazilian RPG from a small Brazilian streamer, friend of Gab's, who is friend in stream. Let's send you guys over there. Start a raid. If you guys want to watch some more cool RPG stuff. And I will be back at some point this week, either probably Friday, to talk about Exatombe, maybe another day. We will see. Follow me in the places if you wanna find me. Muito obrigada por assistir. Muito obrigada por seguir. Muito obrigado. Stefano. Boa noite. Bonne nuit. Au revoir. Adios. Farewell. Goodbye. Ciao. Go send some love to Maestre Digo.